to talk to and get out. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. No one will know we're here. In and out.
And then you run into your mom and dad at the shopping mall.
I fucking hope not.
Oh man.
No, mom and dad would never be caught dead at a shopping mall.
No, I meant like metaphorically, like you're just there in town trying to avoid contact with your family, and then they're at the same shopping mall you are. Oh no.
Isn't that always how it goes?
Yeah.
So I think we left off where Grub was loading us into a self-driving car.
Yes.
And yeah.
You're all in his vehicle. Yes, and the last thing he said was, "So who the hell are you guys?"
Well, we are adventurers. The two of us are expatriates of District 2.
Okay. That was a completely useless answer. Could you please keep going? Ah, yes, adventurers. Very specific.
I'm Cass.
Name, also kind of useless.
What exactly do
Hear
you
about
want
the fate of the
say?
world?
Okay, there we go. Closer. Getting closer. Fate of the world at stake. All right, let's see if you're legit. Because got some bad news. Every adventurer group says that. And most of them
Connor?
are just in it for the money and the pussy.
Do you like Connor?
True.
Like him?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Neither do we.
We're making a plan to fuck him out of 10 million gold.
Ooh, that's going to be tricky. He's one of my biggest customers.
Has the news reached this far north yet? That the lost heir of Marduk has been discovered in the World Bazaar.
There we go. Okay, good. I was about to ask, what news? Yeah. That's just about the biggest crock of shit that we've heard all, I'm gonna go with century on that one.
Yeah.
It's impossible for 1,000 reasons.
Well, if anyone could help expose the truth of it all, we thought it would be someone here. So that's why we're here.
Makes sense. I can respect that idea. You might be able to get someone on your side up here, but I don't know. You're not gonna get anyone else on your side by coming up here, but I can respect the hustle. I get it.
Yeah, basically we are hoping to make sure he doesn't get his ass in the wrong place.
Connor, we mean.
Or the other guy.
Or that guy, yes.
The accountant. The guy looks like the accountant with constipation.
Martine, yeah.
Is she a constipated accountant?
Martine, ever never.
Ever never.
Ever never. I can't
He had to have chosen that name himself.
I can't tell if he's the one who's lying or if his benefactors are lying. I guess it doesn't
Both?
really matter. Maybe. No, I'm not lying about this. Just the people I work for are lying about this. Don't worry about it. Okay, so I'm assuming you want to stop this guy? I should let you know, we really don't go into the wet work thing anymore. Something, non-aggression principle.
Right, I'm familiar with the Constitution of Sanctuary.
Well, that makes one of us.
She spent a lot of time with the tutors.
Spent a lot of time what?
With the tutors.
Is that a family I'm supposed to know about?
No.
It means I've had an education.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you. We'll see how far it gets me.
I have a vague Just trying to remember. In that book that you showed us, there, I'm sort of putting it together. I mean, we remember him from when we were kids, but wasn't he in that book too?
Extensively.
So, would he have met your old boss?
Grub, have you ever met a Medusa?
Yeah, I rescued one. It was Hult's idea. Her sister was a big bad bitch, and he was trying to get into her pants. What?
Whatever snakes wear.
Well,
Waka.
I was about to say, do snakes have a cloaca? I don't know.
I've never asked. Maybe I should get around to that.
No, don't ask. It would be impolite.
Well, the big bad bitch we know is the one backing this Ever Never.
Okay.
So
Cool. Fascinating. Makes sense.
probably not the best idea.
I need some corroboration on that, but so far your story holds water.
So if you're looking to put Marduk on the throne in some Marduk sort of way, what do you need for him? You need the swords, right? And that's what Connor's got.
I mean, not
And the
necessarily. In accordance with Lila's ascension, she had no holy relics or artifacts, although it could be argued that she herself was an holy artifact.
I think people are going to be debating that one for a while.
Yeah, although I'm more curious as to how she got to the moon.
That is a good question.
I'm pretty sure that's well out of teleportation range, but what do I know?
Never run the numbers on that one myself.
Have you ever tried?
Me? Try teleporting to the moon? No, I don't want to die. There's this stuff around us. The air you breathe and the heat from the sun. It's nice. My understanding is that the moon is very cold and does not have any air on it. Or at least nothing you or I could breathe.
Awful confident for someone who's never been there.
There's a lot you can tell just by looking at it. And, sending some hapless organisms who did not survive the trip.
Now that makes more sense.
You said that Connor is a business partner of yours, or simply a buyer?
He commissions gizmos, I make them, and he buys them.
And if we were to propose putting a pause on that exchange?
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be a little salty about it. His funds go a long way in helping me invent new things to help other people.
If all goes well, it would be a temporary squeeze.
How long is temporary? Like 2 months or 2 years?
How long did you say that we have? 90 days?
Yes.
So it'd be about 3 months. And then if it doesn't work, you can just go back to what you were doing before.
It's if only it was so simple. You put the squeeze on someone like that and they're not liable to let you back into their lives. It's like, you rob someone and then you give them their stuff back a couple months later and you're like, oh, I promise I won't do it again.
I guess for everything I've heard about you growing up, you're someone who values your freedom, your ability to do whatever you want to do. Um, so the one thing in all this fucked up mess that I'm pretty clear on is that the Medusa and the Golem pretty much want to have everybody under their thumb all the time.
Make a diplomacy roll.
That's an even 20.
It's an even 20.
Damn nice.
You make an interesting argument, but the tighter the grip, the more grains of sand that slip through.
Well, I would agree, except my friends here would have a different perspective and have kind of talked me around into it. That there's a way in which you can kind of make the grip so nothing gets through.
He gives you a scrutinizing glower.
Hey, I'm not sure if I buy it myself, but what Harlan convinced me is the risk of it being true is a whole lot more fucking dangerous than the risk of it not being true.
That's true, but if there's a 1% chance that something bad's going to happen, are you going to take it as an absolute certainty?
But still try to prevent that 1% chance from happening. Or in this case, maybe it's 10%.
I was
But
about to say, it depends entirely on how catastrophic that 1% chance is.
You see, I have a term for people who act that way, and they're paranoid.
I just look over at Harlan and said, "Hoist my own petard."
I mean, if you can give me some hard evidence that these guys are getting together to try to take over the world, I'll read it, I'll look at it, scrutinize it a little, more than likely believe in it. It'd be difficult to fabricate something like that. But even so, the distant hand is a sluggish one.
Would the
We're
fact
counting on
that
it being sluggish.
would the fact that these weapons that were in Connor's possession were previously held in Ankara and Janam?
That sounds like an Ankaran problem and a Janamian problem.
Yeah, it just means Connor is a smarter businessman than they were and stole stuff from them.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Is he didn't just come by these swords. He tricked Ankara and Janam into fake ones and then took the real ones for himself.
I do find it fascinating that adventurers are arguing against theft.
Yeah.
Everything you took belonged to somebody else too. I should know. I was an adventurer a long time ago, and I did a lot of stealing. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. But if I have to condemn Connor for doing it, that means I have to condemn myself. I don't like doing that. That makes me feel bad. I don't like feeling bad.
All right. So this comes down to the part where I have some issues, but I'm going to try to sell it. Do you want
I'm not the
this...
one you gotta convince.
Well, I mean, I think you could help us a lot. Do you want this ever never guy to end up in Marduk's throat?
It's gonna be a big no from me.
Well, that seems to be what this whole thing is about. If they can convince enough people that he's for real, it apparently gives them a little bit more leverage on making it real.
That presupposes that those armaments have any more power left in them. To which Mary pipes up and says, "They do." And Grub responds, "Okay, I understand you feel that way, and you feel powerfully about that. I have no verification for that."
But hey, I never finished my education, but like one of the things that was drilled in our heads early on is that faith has a power of its own. That you get enough people believing in something, that gives you power you can work with. I mean, that was like class number 3, right, Meredith?
I didn't keep track, but that's the basic principle, yes.
That's a very good point, saliently made. Unfortunately, faith isn't exactly my department. We'll have to speak to the clergyman to get before someone convinces me of that.
Just another type of energy.
Anyone can make a sense motive to determine Grub's state vis-a-vis the fucking Connor over argument.
I don't think it's going to be a very high DC. He doesn't seem... He's humoring us.
Oh my god!
He thinks we're going to fall flat on our faces.
I rolled a natural 19 on my sense motive for an 18!
Hey!
That's a 27 for me.
20 for me.
You guys have
19.
You guys have got a lot of feet and a lot of doors. But at the same time, it's just your word. He's gonna need someone with a little bit more clout and expertise before he starts believing in anything you guys are saying. But you have definitely opened his mind to these possibilities.
So why exactly are we talking to him, or is he just taking
Driving
us
us
somewhere
around.
else and
Conversation
we're
while...
just having, yeah, that's what I thought, is like we're just talking to him about this while we're going somewhere else, right?
Well,
Yes.
Like,
there's another element to it, is if he cut off his business to Connor,
well, no,
he
I
would
get
do a lot
that. I
less.
just didn't. I thought like we were here for someone else too, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
we're not
Yes.
here to
Yeah.
talk to him. Like, the whole point isn't to convince this guy; it's to do something
No.
else.
No,
Correct.
Okay.
Grub is
Nope.
the bonus objective.
It's
He's
conversation
like...
on the way
His
there.
subquest.
And, like,
I said-
imagine if you could convince, I don't know, Thomas Edison of anything. If you just convince Thomas Edison of something, ooh, that's a word in a lot of ears.
Nikola Tesla has a lot of good ideas. Maybe you want to steal them. I don't think that would require much convincing.
I also don't know if he's gonna tell a lot of people about that though. So I
True.
think you're just giving him that idea, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, good idea. Let's just keep that one on the down low."
Oh man, you make an interesting point. Period. Unfortunately, we do not live in the Sorkin verse, where if you make a very good argument, you can convince someone of something.
I want to live in the Sorkinverse.
Don't we all?
So he just needs someone who's more of an expert than Mary is to tell him that this is happening.
Yes.
Like that we need
Yeah.
his help, and he needs to put a squeeze on this shit. Okay.
Like a certified expert. Because
Personally,
unfortunately,
I think we need a long, detailed technical conversation between Mary and Grubb to do this.
How about you eat a fucking dick?
Mar-
Absolutely not.
Mary does not have the patience for that.
Also, I don't have the patience for that.
Mary also, like, I don't think being like the daughter, like the descendant of,
Nikolai Holt.
If Holt is doing any
Yeah.
favors.
yeah,
Nah,
I
man,
don't
it's
know if
fine.
that's
Grubb
gonna
and
be-
Holt knew each other in high school. That means that, like, you can get
Yeah.
away with a lot of dumb shit.
Right, but
Uh,
that's not gonna that's not gonna convince him of the worthiness of our plan at any point. Like
No,
that's
no, no.
just
But it's
It's more
also
like, isn't that cute?
but
yeah,
also
like
like
no
it's
shit, you do, Holt. Oh shit, we went to high school together.
exactly like it's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, right.
went to high school together. I tried to convince him to get off drugs. It didn't work.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Hey man, you gotta get off that Giant's heart shit. You gotta mind your own business. Well, I tried.
It's like, how about you stop gazing into the never-ending spiral of invention?
Ooh, not gonna happen.
Well, not gonna happen.
Shit. All right, fair enough.
Good talk.
Good talk. Good talk.
I would like to. Meredith is going to change the subject. So, Vindrice,
Yeah.
what is she up to these days?
Oh, you know,
She
trying to hold everything together, integrating the Junkers and all that.
did they finally vote her into some sort of prime ministership that was trying to be established? I can't remember.
Something like that. Unfortunately, the systems of government make way less sense to me than the systems of a machine.
Too many variables.
It, more accurately, too many variables that don't make any fucking sense.
Too many egos.
There we go. People never made too much sense to me.
You have other people to help you with that.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's what
I
the
know you just
empathy
said-
drone is for. And he pulls out like a little smiling head. It looks like a shrunken head on a string, but it's a robot that's just smiling and is like, this person is feeling happy.
14 on bluff to fool the empathy drone into thinking that I'm fine.
I've got some bad news. You're gonna have to tell me how you really feel.
Meredith is on her last frayed nerve. She is so incredibly anxious going into Sanctuary.
This individual is cranky.
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
And he's just like, huh, well, whatever you say, empathy drone.
I know you say you don't pay attention to this stuff, but just out of curiosity, I've been away from home for a while, and I was kind of wondering who is. I mean, if Andres isn't fully in charge, who else is out there trying to be?
Oh, there's a few people. Cry the tortodless. They can taste your sins in the air.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me get. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Is there a random political party name generator? Oh my
Probably.
god! Oh!
Don John, you've saved us once again.
No, not Don John. Not Don John today. Fantasy name generator. And he's like, oh yeah, I mean, there are a couple of other parties. I just try not to think about them very much. We've got the Moderate Equilibrium Party. I don't think they stand for anything. I think they're honest to goodness. They just want to keep everything exactly the way it is. Which, I don't know, feels like more effort than it's worth. But I don't know. What do I know? And then there's the Extremist Law Union. They are, as you might suspect, awfully lawful. Not exactly sure what their bag is. I think they're trying to like legislate kindness, and I don't think that's how that works. But once again, what do I know? And then there's the Universal Preservation Party, and I think they're trying to go to space.
The law people. Anyone in particular big in that?
I mean, each of them have their leaders.
Hmm.
Let me generate some random names.
Cass is really just fishing to see if the family has kind of emerged.
Thankfully not. He cites some names and oh hell yeah, give me that delicious random race table. I fucking love this table. It might be my favorite table in the entire goddamn game. Okay. So we've got the leader of the Moderate Equilibrium Party is a halfling.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool.
I mean, he's one of those conservative halflings who's just like, don't rock the boat. Whatever is
Yeah, I
going
know,
on,
but-
don't change it.
They just like to be comfortable.
But
It makes sense they choose a halfling as their face.
But still, I mean, halflings don't always get the most respect,
Well, they care about family.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Never quite picked up that language.
I'll give you a week.
I don't think it would be incredibly complicated now.
Holy shit, this website got good. It was pretty good before. It's fucking great now. The leader of the Universal Preservation Party is Ilgen Timlurwin.
Those are the space cases, right?
What?
Those are the space cases?
Yes. And the leader of the Extremist Law Union is Farquhar Leontios.
So the bot looks over at Cass and says, "This person is feeling relieved." Shush.
But yeah, I try to keep my mind out of politics. Like I said, makes my head spin.
Yep, me too.
And it's around that time, unless you have any other pressing questions. It's weird. The vehicle moves as quickly or as slowly as you need it to.
Incredible. I love that convenience.
It's wacky how that works. Holy shit. Goddamn. And you guys arrive in the at the Imperial Palace.
Oh wow.
Man,
And now
look at that.
this is like entirely new for all of us. What is Sanctuary like as we're driving through it?
So Sanctuary is like the thing that I'm getting vibes from is like Vault City from Fallout 2.
Okay.
Like everything outside the city walls is like dust and soil, and then there are walls to keep the trash crabs out. Well, they're not trash crabs anymore. They're a completely different kind of bizarre dry crab.
Desert crabs.
Yeah, they're just desert crabs. Doesn't make any sense? Fuck off. So to keep the desert crabs and giant scorpions out. And inside things are, like climate controlled, and things are built out of advanced materials. So we're not dealing with the sort of crude chrome of Ankara. We're dealing with a completely different level of like plascrete sort of stuff.
It's not
It's interesting
steampunk.
that
What
Go
if
ahead.
what if you could bend concrete?
Well, then you'd make all sorts of weird building shapes out of it.
That is correct.
It's more sci-fi than steampunky then.
Yes.
Okay.
Still,
That's fascinating.
for those of who remember the peak, it's not even close. There is some similarity, but like, oh no, we've gone back to the gold standard. We've degenerated.
But still, night and day difference from like the Wild West shanty town they were constructing at the end of last campaign.
That is correct.
Or the tower in the middle of a junkyard at the beginning
Yeah.
of the last campaign,
That's also true.
which was what this was. A tower in the middle
So
of a junkyard.
they like resurrected a whole bunch of their climate control technology. That's really cool.
Well, I mean,
Are there like
Clement-
generators?
Clementine helped. Because the sands used to be made out of like plastic and silica, and her masterful spell broke it all down into like nitrogen and dirt.
Arable soil.
Yeah. So yes. There is probably, well, actually, you would know this. Meredith and Cass, you two understand that there is sort of like an invisible dome of force around the city, such that like weather doesn't get in without the city's say so. Grubb's tower is somewhat distant, and he turned off the climate controls because he doesn't like them. So you walk out of the cool automobile into a cool city.
Are there other automobiles?
Nope.
Do we know the general size of the city?
Yes. This is Don John. Dear Lord. The population of the city would be about 18,000.
Okay.
It's, roughly spherical, because that's just how things work. It's about 40 blocks in diameter. And there is an inner layer and an outer layer.
So it's pretty sparsely populated, all things considered. People aren't living on top of each other.
No. So a standard city block is about 315 feet long. So if we take 315 and multiply it by 40, that comes out to 12,600 feet in diameter. And if we cut that in half, we get the radius. And if we multiply that by pi, if we multiply that by pi squared,
Making me do math? Like
I know, right?
math in D&D? Ooh.
It comes out to, oh Lord, it comes out to a big number.
Yeah, it's pretty good amount of space.
It's 1.2469 times 10 to the 8th power in square feet. I can do that. That's no problem.
My brain hurts. I'm hearing the static.
Well, I mean, just to make it simpler, it's around a quarter of a mile from one side to the other and circular.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That puts it in much better perspective.
It's about, oh lord, I'm calculating 236 million square miles, and I don't think that's right. Nope. Something has gone wrong.
Don't worry about it. It's fairly large.
Yep.
Yeah, it's big. Although, strangely enough, not World Bazaar big. Because World Bazaar big is like the size... What if you just fit as many people as you could into the state of... I'm thinking like Mississippi.
Yeah, like one of those long boys.
Exactly. Just jam them the fuck in.
Actually, you know what? It might be a good analog for its size. Let me see.
I don't know, DC? No.
I'm thinking the Pentagon, actually.
Yeah, I was closer. I had to pare it down. Brain processing.
I'm about to say, this place dwarfs Wind City, and Wind City was built up over like 1,000 years, and this place went up in 40.
A difference in technology.
Technology and ambition, and a whole
And the
bunch of
fact
people.
that the city was fighting off crabs instead of undead hordes.
Right, and like the people there, they were accustomed to a certain style of living, and they wanted to get it back.
Right? So if I have to dust off my front step with a broom one more time, I'm going to lose it.
Right, I'm just gonna fucking kill myself because it's not. Life isn't worth living if I have to brush off my porch.
What do you
Holy
mean we
shit.
don't have air conditioning? I'm supposed to breathe raw air?
What?
What the fuck?
I heard raw air causes cancer too, so you want to filter that shit.
I've got some bad news
Speaking
about.
of filtering that shit, what about the sun? It's up all the time.
Right. What?
Just going outside.
Do you want me to lower the curtains when I have to sleep? That's exhausting.
My skin is literally peeling off.
Fucking, all I can think of is that line from the Avengers, just like, well, how does he see that monitor with the one eye thing? He turns his head. Sounds exhausting.
And then, if you want to believe they actually gave a shit about what they were doing instead of making it a crazy random happenstance, Fury's tech from that point on is far more mobile, so he does not have to turn. So, Tony actually fixed it.
That's so funny.
I mean, that's what I choose to believe, rather than they just wanted
Lack
to
of
show off
continuity.
and add some more like CGI shit. So
Although
Two things can be true.
Two things can be true. Although, like, that just reminds me of the Batman I want to be able to turn my head thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like,
Yeah.
oh, holy shit, no other Batman has been able to turn his head in that fucking costume. Which then brings me to the Tom Hardy. Do you want to get that thing off your face? Yes. Yes, I do.
I found a list online of 100 best movie sequels of all time. Number one, of course, being Mad Max Fury Road.
It's pretty good. Where's Terminator 2 on the list?
Pretty high. I think it was in like the 30s or 40s.
Good, that makes sense. Although, Terminator 2 is the worst sequel of all time because it blows the original out of the fucking water.
Well, you know what the other one that's in the same league is Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Ooh.
that was also on there. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was in the top 20 at least.
Good. Yes.
Though one thing I really liked about it was that number 100 was Happy Feet 2. So George Miller both opened and closed out the list.
That's pretty fucking great.
That's hilarious. I forgot about Happy Feet.
Get you a man that can do both.
Get you a man that can do both. The
Sanctuary.
Royal Palace.
Right. Sanctuary has 4 markets and a series of districts.
Districts and districts. Son of a bitch.
I don't know why
It's like an
there's.
onion. It has layers.
It's they use small case letters instead of numbers to avoid confusion.
That makes sense. That doesn't make sense.
We covered up the scent of the smog of industry with industrial amounts of mint. But yes.
Oh, I haven't been back here in a long time.
You said the city was called Donjon?
No. So
The site.
the name of the city is Sanctuary because like that's just what you name your city when all of your friends die and your fucking home gets blown up.
Oh, okay.
But unfortunately, I accidentally left the town name is Decham on the generator, so just ignore that. Shove that aside.
Okay.
Oh wow, Psalm, you don't know about the Chosen.
No, I don't.
Dear God, sorry. They played such a large role in the previous game, and for
They
them
were the fundamental antagonists of the previous campaign.
not only
Yes.
that, but they loomed large over the entire city. There was no place you could escape their gaze or their grasp.
And now they are contained to this two-ringed city.
So we don't like the Chosen?
Well,
like,
we are the
The
chosen.
antagonists, not the protagonists, like they're the bad ones?
It's complicated.
They were the baddies.
Okay.
We are the next generation of the former baddies. They're in a stage of reformation.
Like you know how in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, after Spike got the chip in his head and he was kind of like their feral pet for a while? The Chosen are kind of like that.
Okay.
Like, the Chosen used to shoot down with their giant techno ships anything that flew higher than a certain altitude. And occasionally their ships would war with each other and cause devastation below. And they
Remember that city, Armstrong, we visited earlier in the campaign? The one that was being rebuilt?
That was the result of one targeted salvo from a single airship.
Wow.
Hey, you made Selena cranky, and she wanted to punish you through your friends for being naughty.
Right, and ended up killing 50,000 people.
Yeah, somewhere in the ballpark, somewhere around there. Probably more, but
It depends on if you count the ones that died in the initial bombardment and the ones that, starved to death or died of exposure in the mountains.
I was about to say, like, do you count those people? I'm saying that I think we should, but there are some people who are going to argue that. I think they're wrong, but hey.
That's back when the graveyard was pretty feral too, so.
Yeah, that created some problems. And then District 4 almost fucking starved.
But no, I would like to fill some in a little bit about the background of the Chosen, and they used to be a people that considered themselves literally chosen by Marduk and by the gods. They lived on top of the mountain and they did whatever they wished with technology and magic. And eventually they were brought low by a previous band of adventurers that would go on to become gods or near gods in their own right.
Well, it was Daskis who blew everything up.
Yep.
Although the Chosen might shift the blame onto the adventurers.
And that's why I said that.
Yep. Yep.
Because I figured that would be the narrative that our parents gave us.
You are absolutely correct. They're not going to admit that one of their own destroyed. They're not going to admit that one of their own drove them out of paradise. Out of spite, I should mention. Like, there was no
there's two
tactical
sides.
decision in blowing up the peak. He just did it because he was angry.
There's two sides to that. One is, well, you don't really want to have one of your own be the ones responsible for it. But the other one is, you don't want a bunch of lowly strangers being able to do it.
Oh, you make a
So
very good point.
You're kind of got a quick catch-22 between the
Well,
only a
here's the
chosen could do
question.
something like this.
Here's the question. What did Solandra write in her book?
Ooh.
Because that's where Meredith
Oh.
is getting...
Daskius.
I was about to say, she's definitely going to lay the blame at Daskius' feet.
And one of their own, drunk with power, decided to destroy the place. Everyone who survived ended up here, and they've been rebuilding ever since.
So the people here are the result of the bombing in Armstrong, or
No, they're the result
are
of the
the people
bombing.
response? Right. So,
At the top of the mountain.
okay.
The people who were here in District 2 and 3 didn't take kindly to them building a city here at first, believing all of them to be war criminals, when really it was just a handful.
So the mountain's really more like a ziggurat, right?
What's more like a ziggurat?
The mountain itself.
The mountain, Septemport.
Yeah. Like I imagine it like Minas Tirith. Like, it's got tiers.
Yeah, let me... Somewhere here, I have to have it.
From here in District 2, you can see the peak much more clearly than probably Sam has ever seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
There's no way.
There it is. Hold on.
The peak. Hey! Oh, man, look at my shitty fucking MS Paint ass map! Fucking look at that
That map has carried us through 5 fucking years, Reynolds.
Oh, man.
Yep. There was the big question of, why is it named Septemport when there's no water? It's salt.
Funny that.
And on the other side of the Slayheim salt flats is Fleece.
You poor fuckers. Ugh.
Alright, I need to take a couple minutes to feed Monster and have a tinkle.
That's fair.
I myself could use a snack. So, I don't know. Consider what you're going to say to Vindries when you open those doors.
Okay.
Oh, no pressure.
I'm just gonna say, hey mama, how you doing?
Oh, no! I think...
If I remember correctly, she was demon-blooded, wasn't she?
something like that. Trying to find the oldest
I'll be back.
post. Oh, geez, post from 2018.
Milo just DM'd me and said, "You are in game. I'm legally allowed to dunk on you for the next 2+ hours with no defense."
Oh, there's the throne room fight. There's the ballroom. I'm scrolling. Oh yeah, that cool art that I did. Yay.
Are you scrolling through this Discord?
Yeah, I'm scrolling through this Discord. Just trying to find that pic of injuries. from years and years ago. Another old flame. Oh yeah, that time that we got revenge on the clown guy. Huh.
Which clown
That was
guy?
the bandit dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we turned into wolves and ripped his whole shit up.
Yep. That is correct.
Oh no, I scrolled too far and I found the section of chat where Armstrong.
Ooh.
But it doesn't look like you put a picture of Ventris in this
No, I don't think
chat.
Ventris has ever been pictured.
It must have happened in DMs because I did make some art of her forever ago. That was... Oh yeah, I forgot. The bug people.
The bug people.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
The terrible, terrible bug people.
Some other old images I found that were
Like the vicious, slaving, skin-wearing bug people.
like that was the Mountain City. I did find this, which I'm not sure if you had or not, because I know you sent us this one, but I like the top one too.
Yeah, they're both very useful.
Mm-hmm.
I like whoever the fuck photoshopped a fucking Disney wizard's hat on top of an aboleth.
That's me.
Well,
Oh, back to
we met at an aboleth in an abandoned laboratory.
Yeah, you went to the peak to go pick up some magic
Two of them.
weapons, and some aboleths showed up who were like, "Oh, whoa, no, we're securing all this stuff so you pinkskins don't get hurt." And they're like, "Yeah, but we need it so other pinkskins don't get hurt." And it involved the heavy usage of this GIF because, like, anything that anyone said to the aboleths would just get them like staring at each other, like, "Oh no, oh shit, what do we do? Oh fuck, we didn't think about this." And, like, imagine if aboleths could be hippies, just like, "Oh no, we don't do the slave thing. Nah, man, that's fucked up. But nah, we like helping people." Like, think
yeah,
of
they were the oddest aboleth.
like, I think of them more like the human zoo in Steven Universe. Like, no. We just keep the humans in a pen where they can't hurt themselves or each other.
These ones anyway.
Right. They're very happy, they're very healthy, they're very safe, and we have no idea how they work. So we're just arranging marriages and doing all sorts of weird shit.
I have returned.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear the crunch of my pretzels?
Crunch
Not
one.
much.
Sick.
Plus, I like that ASMR. So like,
Visualize.
So, no, they do not have automobiles. Mostly people are drawn in either Helgak drawn wagons, or the wagon is the Helgak,
They're just riding on top of the fucking Helgak.
or riding on a Helgak. Well, no, so like,
Helgak come in different sizes. It's like breeds of horses.
but also like because Helgak are so genetically mutable, you could just make a wagon that has wheels made out of chitin, fueled by Helgak.
Like you could breed a like compartment inside a Helgak for you to sit in or
Yes,
something.
yes.
That is correct.
Okay.
Like
that's-
elves that sing trees into shapes.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
It's even worse because it doesn't have to be a single Hellgak.
Are
You
these
can
things
actually merge
alive?
a bunch of
Yes.
Yeah, Hellgak are very alive. Like the
Do they?
like the ship that you were in was a bioengineered Hellgak.
Is this
Yep.
fucking ethical?
We don't ask too many questions.
Don't go and find Clementine and ask her that question.
Mm,
We actually, because of Clementine, Grub could not use the most efficient design for our first airship.
yes,
Yep, because it would have been cruel to the Helgax.
that's also true.
Is
So it
that
ended up
like-
being more like a Helgax powered chariot
Yes.
than
Is-
anything else.
Is so like? Are there like humane ways to mutate a Hellgak?
Fuck no.
Or is it just like no. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So,
I'm gonna go with fuck no on that one. It's just been so normalized that everyone's like, yeah, you turned a Hellgak into a spaceship. What the fuck is the problem?
That's what they're for.
Does anybody know what a Hellgak looked like before we mutated the fuck out of it?
Yes, there are wild Hellgak.
I just like to think of it as like, why did you create the pug?
Right.
Like, it's just like you've mutated this fucking like being so much that it's got fucking health problems now.
Right now it literally can't breathe. But like on this side, the goal was obvious. I want a flying machine. Hellgak can fly. We'll just make Hellgak bigger so we can fit inside them.
My biggest problem with pugs and chihuahuas and shih tzus is the whole concept that, from a genetic perspective, it's almost impossible to distinguish them from a wolf. I mean, technically, they can crossbreed with wolves, and
I
it
think
is
that's the problem.
it is disturbing in a fundamental way that these things were manipulated so much, but they still have pretty much the same genes as a wolf.
Yeah, it's like ball python morphs too. They like fucked with their genetics so hard that some of them like can't even fucking eat properly and shit like that. It's kind of terrible.
It's
Anyway.
really, really sad.
Yeah.
Like, especially for some of the color morphs that are spectacularly inbred.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I do like a jewel-toned glittering snake, but I would like for it to also be healthy.
Thankfully, the Hellgak are also ugly and disgusting and smelly that we feel justified in whatever we do to them. I'm a horse, I'm a beautiful, majestic animal. Yes, we will respect you, and we will use you a little bit, but it's mostly respect. Hi, I'm a cow, I'm a living being. You're a baseball glove, shut the fuck up and get on the truck.
Ronald, has anyone ever talked to you about glue?
We're gonna start having vegan arguments, aren't we?
No, I don't think so. Like, I think the vegans are right, but I want glue. I want glue more than I respect horses, and that makes me a bad person, and I'm willing to accept that.
Personally, I just love a good steak every once in a while, and hamburgers. Oh God.
I'm just saying, I think that we can have our meat and eat it too, or have our meat and respectfully raise it too.
Correct.
Yes, and hopefully not destroy the Amazon.
Right.
Right.
Now you're asking for a lot, Dave.
Yeah. Do you want meat or do you want to not destroy the Amazon? Pick
Dave,
one.
in
You
this
only get one.
in this fucking economy, not gonna happen.
I think I'll settle for less palm oil, honestly.
You know,
Because-
that's a fair statement.
Because, like, that's also pretty fucking bad for the Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah, and of course the whole avocado farms owned by the what do you call those guys?
Mhm.
Drug lords,
Cartel?
cartels. Yeah, the
Ooh.
cartels are heavy into the avocado business.
That's fucking hilarious.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Wow, they're like, okay, cocaine's pretty profitable, but what if we get into the avocado business? That's
Rich white women are buying it for their toast every other day.
like we can
We'll
have.
sell them toast and cocaine.
But say we can make money off the books with coke, but we can also make a lot of money on the books with avocados.
It's a very profitable front for sure.
I'm just saying.
Barely a front.
If you
God damn.
do one and not the other, you're leaving money on the table. What would shit, I don't remember the name of the Colombian drug lord.
Escobar.
There it is. What would Escobar think if he knew we were leaving avocados off the table? He'd be furious. I don't know why.
Like,
I consider him the platonic ideal of a cocaine warlord. Like, I mean, yeah, he's a warlord, but like, yeah, come on.
honestly, same.
I'm not saying he didn't do some bad shit. I'm just saying when I think warlord, I think monster. And when I think Escobar, I think he's a ruthless capitalist.
I just love the actor that they chose to play him in Narcos. Because, one, when he stands with his hands behind his back and looks mournfully into the sunset, he looks so much like my fucking dad that it's like, what? And also, he's just like a very charismatic presence.
Uh-huh.
Like you want to root for him.
As Escobar himself was.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we can choose the path of lead or we can choose the path of silver. The choice is yours. Fuck! God damn it! I hate warlords who give me an out. They seem so sensible. But, so, y'all open the doors. Do you have that image of Vindries?
I do. I wasn't able to find it. No,
That's fine.
I was able to find the original pic that you had for Niamisa,
God damn.
but I was not able to find the one for Vindries. I was also able to find the one that you sent for Kali.
God damn. If that ain't a snake lady.
Sure is.
I do feel like Vindries is very human looking, or very elf looking, one might say.
I remember she had like long golden hair.
Yeah. That's that's the ASMR in her.
Yep.
But there are a lot of ASMR who look real fucked up, and ain't that the truth? Right.
Hey.
Yes, the question about the cloaca. There's a character in Pillars of Eternity who,
Literally a
dear
question.
Lord, is that what I sent you?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! That is one thirsty Gorgon.
I mean, she wanted to jump my bones.
She did, and you gave her strong offspring.
I sure did. You're welcome.
Look at Zodru. You wonder why Zodru's so good at this? It has nothing to do with Pith's great ability at building an eidolon. It's those sweet fucking hell-bred Hulk genes. No wait, he had the
yeah,
kids
his
before he
God's
became a
meld.
Hellbred. Right.
Wait
It
a
was-
second.
He was still God's melding before he was a Hellbred, and she was
Yep.
like, yes.
Are we saying that Zodru and Mary are siblings?
Technically.
I'm gonna go with yes. But
Are they
Don't worry about it.
steps?
Half siblings.
Because who fuck? So
So, oops,
Mary.
didn't. Because we're about to meet Vendrease too.
no, what I'm saying, they're most
Oh
because
no, you're cutting in and out.
You're cutting it out, but it honestly makes it so funny.
it does, yes.
they're step siblings at most because
Different moms.
different moms. Yeah, exactly.
No, that's step half.
Oh, like half brothers or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
like not. Yeah, but like
Yeah,
that's.
siblings are siblings.
Hey, step
From
bro.
another mother.
Could you help me get out of this dryer? But no, there's a character in Pillars of Eternity who's got bird feathers instead of hair.
Yeah.
and Heravius, your local Orlin, which is just a halfling, druid, like, he has incidental conversations with her, like, so, do you have feathers instead of hair everywhere? Do the curtains match the drapes is what I'm asking. And if you ask him more intimately about what he thinks of her, he's like, I'm dying to know if she has a cloaca. And you're like, a cloaca? And he's like, yeah, a combination poop shoot and fun hole. I'm just saying, if she does, my fantasy will be complete. And if not, I can handle the disappointment. Because that's just Heravius. That's just who he is every day of his life.
There's a meme where it's like, I went in for bottom surgery and they turned me down once they heard the dreaded word cloaca.
Cowards.
Okay, there we go.
Hello.
Sorry.
Yes. So,
Yeah, you're fine.
y'all open the door. And, the palace is abuzz with activity. Like every palace is. It's less like an imperial palace and more like a parliamentary building,
Right, like a meeting hall of political
Yeah.
figures.
It's not like I'm thinking of Dune, like Duke Leto. Like, when he shows
Yeah.
up, everything is about him. He's got his guards, and he's got his spy master, and he's got his pug lords. It's all about Duke Leto. That's not what's going on here. There are, there are supplicants asking for help from various governing officials. It's not a line from the entrance to, Vindri's desk or something. But oh yeah, I should also mention, like, when Grub goes up the step, he uses his staff as a walking stick, and holy shit, it's the same fucking staff.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Or at least it
I'm
looks
sure
the
it's
same
been
on the
upgraded.
outside.
Into the building.
But it would probably drive someone crazy to realize that he's using what is almost certainly the same walking stick for 40 years. But, I mean, when it's a +3 weapon, it gets some mileage,
I was about to say, people becoming attached to their weaponry is not unheard of.
No. Especially when you fill it with, like, a buzzsaw and all sorts of wacky shit. But,
Weird science machines.
Weird science. Weird science! So yeah, there is quite possibly some weird science in that staff. But
I need to make a roll real quick for character reasons.
to recognize or be infuriated by weird science.
No, for walking into this place sans disguised self,
Hey!
which, yes, I do manage to do that. Though,
What's your role on disguise self?
oh no, I'm not using disguised self. That's not a very Holt-like thing to do.
True. Well, is it a head of disguise or is it just?
No, it's a spell. Meredith is deciding not to use it. I rolled a will save.
Oh, okay.
It's her instinct. She wants to use it because she doesn't want to be seen by these people.
There we go. I thought you were saying that you did use it. I'm like, well, that creates the opportunity for someone to be able to see through it.
No, she does not.
Got it. Ooh.
But boy, did she want to.
I think I found the ASMR that I'm looking for.
Oh, good.
Oop. Oh, remove attachment. Install new attachment.
Oh, perfect.
The golden hair has faded over 40 years. But her eyes betray her nature. But as you guys enter, y'all turn some heads, and Cassandra, Meredith,
Recognition?
the two of you, I don't know, shit your collective britches, or there is almost certainly going to be a reaction, but it
Mm-hmm.
becomes apparent that they're not looking at you; they're looking at Grub.
Oof.
Like it's a, what the fuck is he doing out? Like imagine a dog off the chain, just like, oh, somebody put that thing on a leash.
Once again, a little voice says, "I sense relief."
I sense relief. Hush.
I sense supreme anxiety.
And he walks up to a big desk with a bunch of kobold paper pushers.
Mhm.
Because some things never change in this world.
They're just so good at paperwork. Their
They're
little
s-
claws are
they're-
very deft.
They're so good at it, and they just it's the draconic nature in them that causes them to just categorize everything and just have it all in neat stacks, but they don't have a huge pile of money to be able to count, so instead they have a huge pile of people to keep track of.
Genetically predisposed to sorting a horde.
Exactly. Except in this case they don't have a giant pile of money, so they gotta make do with what they have, and what they have is people. And he's just like, hey, I'm making an appointment, now. And they're like, could you wait 5 minutes? And he looks at all of you guys.
I nod.
You got 5. And they fucking start running around.
Like they lit their little tails on fire.
Just like, oh god, we gotta call everybody and tell them we're pushing this meeting back. What do you mean we're pushing the meeting back? Grub's in the office. Whomst the fuck is in the office? And you guys wait a few minutes, and you get to enter the Imperial Court. Oh, it's not an empire, right? Let's call it a parliamentary court.
But
Did you ever- were you
the
ever in here before,
iconography of an empire dies hard.
Right.
You ever here before, Mary?
What's up?
Pardon?
Were you ever here before?
You almost certainly have been, yes.
Yes, it was imperative we see law in action. It's boring as hell.
Well, there was that one argument. Like, I can only imagine some fucking Matt Murdock fiery, impassioned legal speech going on. Just, you use building materials that deliberately put people in danger. Well, it cut costs. Does it cut cost when our children can't walk? Some of that shit.
It was fascinating to watch how little those speeches seemed to affect them, on their faces at least.
Definitely. But
Sometimes the votes would change.
It also taught you the value of restraint. If you go too hard, it makes you look stupid. If you go hard enough, it can shake people up.
Depends on the audience.
Absolutely.
Depends on the cards in your hand.
That's what you learned that day. But it was basically
Our hand
the
is
only day.
remarkably empty right now.
Oh, you're not wrong. But it was basically the only day where you learned anything interesting. Mostly it was, motions, counter motions, and, taking things to the most boring votes ever. No one was beaten with a cane. No one raised their voice. Oh, God, what the fuck is the point?
The hammer, purely for show.
Oh, yeah. The gavel's not
Although-
for banging, it's for threatening to bang.
There was this one case where I was certain the judge was about to fling the gavel at the defendant. But all she did was twitch one eyebrow.
Yes, I believe he deserved to die, and I hope he burns in hell. Gavel. Throat.
Sentence to be carried out now.
So you plead guilty. Good. We'll finish this quick. But you guys...
Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. What this man says is true. This man has no dick.
Thank you.
But you guys go in there, and like the murmurs can be heard from the senators or the parliamentary representatives around the room.
Oh. We're doing this publicly.
Oh yeah, sorry. Maybe I should have said something.
You really should have.
Oh boy. What do you think the odds are that Connor has some spies in this group?
Extremely high.
Oh, and like Grubb says, what do you mean a spy? Like his representative is right over there. And he points to like an orc in a business suit.
Harlan fucking drains his flask.
And what about Mianisa?
And at that mention, Grubb just sort of like tilts his head like,
Do you have anyone from the... I forget the name of the society. From the society that's backing the
What, something mask or something?
Ape?
Scarlet Mask or something?
Gilded Cloak.
The
Gilded
Cloak.
Cloak.
I'm about to say it's up further. I'll go look at it. It's very. I see all. Oh man, brutal. About to say it's gonna be right next to the image of Martine, that cunt. I do believe I've gone too far.
Here, let me.
So Taiwan's gone a long way with regards to democracy, but they just can't seem to stop getting into brawls, literal brawls on the parliament floor.
Oh, that's the problem. I accidentally put it in memes because I was in the wrong chat. Like
Society of the Heavenly Cloaks.
That's it. If there are any representatives of the Society of the Heavenly Cloaks here, they are not apparent. They're almost certainly lobbyists.
You know what I'm gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to cast a quick spell.
What spell are you trying to cast?
What is it? I think it's Locate the Faithful.
Ooh, I got some bad news. Catastrophic
Detect
spell
faithful.
failure.
It just fizzles.
It just fizzles.
Maybe an anti-magic field.
That is correct. Ooh, which reminds me, Psalm, I know that you like when Zadru hangs out or like outside your body and he prefers to stay that way, but like when you walk through the doors, he's like, oh no! He just gets sucked in.
Oh, okay.
Like, he can still hear everything, but he's not allowed to exit your body.
Okay.
I mean, strictly speaking, you could project him outside your body. There will be consequences.
Well,
this wasn't exactly what I had in mind.
This is not exactly what I had in mind.
Mary just whispers to you all, I think I can use this.
I'm
think you
going
can
to
too.
scan the room and see if I can find any relatives in here.
Yep.
Oh boy. Oh, I've got some bad news. Okay, give me some delicious perception rolls.
Okay. Well, I've rolled worse, but I've rolled better too.
Harlan, I'm just thinking of you draining your flask, and my immediate thought is, do politics sober?
No, never.
Nani?
Nani?
Meredith, you're scanning the crowd. I mean, maybe there are a lot of ASMR around here. It's difficult to tell. Cass, it's your mom.
Oh fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Oh fuck.
You didn't recognize her because she was Meredith. You didn't recognize her because she was in her armor.
Mm-hmm.
She is either a representative or a bailiff or both.
I just take Meredith's arm, like, by the crook of the arm, and kind of like interpose Meredith between me and. did you see her?
See who? There's so many people here.
Here.
Oh. Great. Great. Wonderful.
I should mention the most renowned thing she's ever done is kill a Bandersnatch. Now, mind you, it crawled
That's pretty
down.
remarkable.
Well, it crawled down from the peak and got very sick from the climate. So it was not at 100%.
Yeah.
I would
So-
put it
well,
roughly at 30%.
I mean, like, if someone walked up to me and said, "Hey, I killed the Bandersnatch," I'd be like, "Not fucking with you."
Right.
Going the other way. Like, I
Yep.
don't care how fucking weak the Bandersnatch was. I'm just like, nope. Mm-mm.
Like, that thing, it almost one-shot Holt, and he had 300 health, okay? Like,
Well, I mean, that was not a normal Bandersnatch. That was like a fucking.
you get the
beefed up
point,
advanced
though.
Bandersnatch.
It was a Frumious Bandersnatch, but that's not the point.
Not sure, it was Frumious.
I think it was something else because it had the anti-magic field around it. Remember it?
Oh, was
Really?
No, those
something
have an
Sandra.
aura.
it may have been a Spellbane Bandersnatch.
Yeah. It was like a CR 21 or 22, something like that.
That's
It was
fine.
nuts.
You'll be fine.
Well, Mary, we'll have your back, but I'm much more suited on one-on-one conversations. You know this.
But
I-
I don't know.
Mary. No, not Mary. Mary. Mary, I haven't seen her since. Then.
It's been over 10 years, she might not even recognize you. And I've changed so much about myself, she might not even recognize me. We'll be fine.
If you're little, you can hide behind me.
My bluff to reassure
I was about to
Cassandra.
say, we'll be fine. Big lies! Big fucking lies! That's a pretty good bluff.
it's a pretty good lie.
Hey man, sometimes we use lies to tell the truth. Just saying.
What is it? Like,
I believe that Meredith believes it.
it's like, I don't care about what you tell the truth. Like, what you're willing to lie about tells me a lot about you. Something. Like, someone's ability to, or like, what someone lies about tells you a lot about their fucking character.
That's very true. What they lie about matters more than the fact that they are lying.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a lot of beneficial lies out there.
I think this falls under the category of beneficial lies.
This would definitely fall under the category of beneficial lies. It's like when you
Has Meredith
tell...
ever rolled below a 20 on a bluff?
I don't think so.
I have a plus 10, and I tend to roll well. I rolled an 18 on that.
Yep. No, I was just wondering.
I'm using
Considering-
Holt's dice today because I'm superstitious.
You might need it.
My best sense motive is a 19. So.
I mean, yeah.
That's why you just believe everything your sister says.
You haven't
God.
had to be a pathological liar for most of your life, so.
Well, I did notice that when under your influence the other day, Meredith seemed to lose the ability to speak mainly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
she started stuttering. So
And became very irritable.
That feeling when you have to push the bounds of falsehood in order to figure out what is technically true. Will we be okay? God willing.
Okay, let's do this and get this over with. If she sees us, she sees us. And hey, Sam, get your crap. Never mind.
What?
I was
We can't
starting to tell you
cast.
to get your haste spell ready, but never mind. Just in case we need to get out fast.
They're not going to attack us.
That's not what I'm worried about.
Well,
And
that's
you're
what we
not
need
going to
run.
attack them. It'll be fine.
Mhm.
But Vindries looks at you all approach, and heads are being turned. And she just says, "Master Grub, to what do we owe the pleasure?" And he's like, some people teleported into my backyard. They sound like they could use some help. I am here to formally vouch for them, so that their voice may be heard. And like some of the parliamentarians roll their eyes, and she's just like, "Well, by the power invested in me and the power invested in you, let them speak."
Well, I'm looking over at Meredith. There's no signs of Meredith speaking.
Meredith is waiting for either Mary to take the forefront or gesture for her to do so.
Okay, yeah, no, she's suggesting that one of you go ahead. She's got a cutscene related plan to execute later.
Then you're going to have to give Cap a moment.
Oh yeah.
A hot fucking moment, because this is not what I prepared for today.
Oh no, and like anyone can speak up, but she's like, "No, I got a plan. I need you to get our foot in the door, and I can land the killing blow."
I'm going to use meme chat or general chat to lay down our bullet points that I think we should hit.
Ooh, bullet
Please.
points are a very good idea. Have you considered the benefits of bullet points?
All right. So just out of curiosity, there's not dead silence where everyone's looking at us currently.
That is
We have
indeed
pressed the pause button.
They're all waiting for one of us to speak. That's
Okay.
what's going on right now.
Because Cass will start speaking if no one else speaks. Just a warning.
Cap the player is asking that we put a pause on this.
It's a
We hit the
fascinating
pause button.
It's a fascinating
Because-
thing the way
Cass's perspective is better to have someone talking than no one talking. So
it's a fascinating thing the way that the world just sort of slows down and everything becomes silent. It's very bizarre. And I don't know if any of you have ever been on stage, but that also happens when you're on stage.
Do we want to? Would it be a good idea to present Evernever as like a fraud, or is that not probably?
they already know
so.
that.
That will probably be unnecessary.
They know that better than we do.
Like, these people know that Evernever is a fraud. They don't know if he's a puppet. That might be useful information.
Right, but they know
definitely-
they know that he's he's not like an actual heir to the
No.
fucking throne.
because the Chosen know better than anyone else that Kira and Marduk were unable to sire children. They adopted a lot of kids, but biology, it doesn't work.
So just wanna like whoever Holt did sire a child with would be better suited for the throne, right?
It's not a
Then-
matter of genealogy, especially considering Marduk's position. From a theological perspective, Marduk was not spawned from the creator. He was created by the creator.
So not
just-
an offspring, but
Well,
a.
like, I don't understand then why, like, being a descendant is important if that's, like...
That's a
So-
very
so,
good
like-
question. You're right. It shouldn't matter, but it matters to a lot of people.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. So, like, like, Mary's one, potentially Zadru, right? Because Neomisa and Holt, like, but, like, not, maybe not. And then, like, I don't know, however, ever many, like, other children.
By the logic of like genetic descendants, yes, Zadru would be an eligible candidate, but you
Right.
know that to be false. So it can't be
Right.
a matter of genetic inheritance. Like, actually, that's a great way to look at it and a great resource to use. You're like, Zadru, can you be put on the throne? He's like, oh, fuck no.
I mean, technically, Lila might be as much McCavity's child as Kira's.
I'm just saying.
Are these bullet points all of, our thoughts?
I think there are important points to hit if anybody wants to make a speech. Or like, these are the points that you need to make clear. Like, here's the problem.
What about
Here's why what's happening is bad. We have a time limit.
could we start by saying that this is something that requires a certain amount of discretion? Or is that not going to fly?
It's not. It
It's
might
not going to fly. There's
because
representatives from all over in this place.
yeah,
Yeah.
like everyone is fucking here basically.
I know, I was just wondering if there was a...
I am
What's
working on it.
what's the representative of Connor gonna do? Just not tell him?
I mean, he's definitely going to tell Connor, but I'd say the bigger question is, what can he do here?
Well, if Connor knows that our plan is to cut off Connor, he can do more. Than if
That's why
it
that's
happened
one of the
and he had to figure it out.
that's one of the bullet points I think we should not mention.
Hmm.
The specifics of what we're trying to do.
Maybe that we lay down these main points and then explain that we need discretion, and that can hopefully get us in directly with Vindries.
That's not going to happen.
I about to say, Cass,
Call it a feeling.
you and Meredith would know about the openness policy. Like, eavesdropping is... So, in order to counter the secrets-based economy they used to have, privacy rights have gone down the shitter. Because before the Chosen adopted the gold standard here, their entire economy was based on information rumor mongering. Because when you can replicate a +3 weapon at will, who needs gold? I need information. That's what I need.
Yeah, sadly, Meredith does seem to be the logical person to...
Yeah, I am working on it. Please.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Just to...
No. This takes time. What? Me throw a curveball? I would never.
Ever, never.
Ever, never. I would
Never.
never ruin your plans on purpose or by accident.
Or take credit for doing it on purpose when it's by accident.
Right. I would never do that. Ever. No. You see, everything you see is 100% completely intentional. I don't make mistakes. That crack in my voice, not a mistake. Deliberate affect. Who's that professor? What's the name of that professor who showed up in the Matrix?
Which?
He was one of the elder counselors. But sadly, I do not remember his name. Oh, it'll be fine. They'll just get the armor. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, now I need to type this.
Here it is. Counselor West, who was played by fucking Cornell West. Oh, he's just Counselor. Cornell West is just playing himself in the Matrix. Got it. And I mean, why the fuck not?
Was that in the first Matrix movie?
No, he's in the second one. When they go to Zion, they get to talk to the whole Elder Council, and
Okay.
Cornel West gets to say and do some fucking cool shit.
Yeah, I haven't rewatched that movie in a long time.
I rewatched it again very recently because I fucking love that shit. Yep. The main, there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 counselors, but only like 5 of them get speaking roles, which are Dillard, Harmon, West, Grace, and Tuchman. And they get some fucking great lines. Particularly Counselor Dillard. Because, like, right, West is like, I think that we should send out a ship to figure out what the one is doing. And Locke is like, if we send out one ship, it could take them days to find the Nebuchadnezzar. And Dillard is like, oh, so then we should send 2 is what you're saying. Which is like, oh, fucking brilliant. Oh, this task will take up a lot of resources. Oh, so you're saying we should send more, we should spend more resources on this. Got it. Thank you, Commander Locke. Your advice has been invaluable.
What is the reputation of the fucking Society of the Heavenly Cloaks outside of District 4?
They're gonna be basically unknown.
Okay, cool, thanks.
You would know that. They're a local organization. You know, like as local as the Freemasons would be. You know, like if you don't have a lodge in your country, like you might not even know that they exist. Made all the worse because they're a front. Like they have been designed specifically not to exist.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just really like the council scenes in the second Matrix movie, just because like it's pretty clear like why they're on the council. They have a lot of political acumen, just like they know how to talk to people. They know how to get around bad arguments. Because when they're like, oh, we should send 2 ships, Locke is like, oh, well, I mean, it'd be really hard to order someone to do something when they don't understand why they're doing it. And Counselor Dillard again is like, who's ordering anybody? They're right here. They can volunteer if they want. Fucking got him.
Almost done.
It's fine.
Jada Pickett Smith, who was the Morpheus's ex.
Oh yeah. She is. Niobe there. I didn't realize that.
I remember she was supposed to be the best pilot or something.
She's not even the best. She's just really good. Cause there's I think she pilots the Vigilant or another ship. The only thing I remember is that when they're flying through the like gas tunnels in order to get to Zion real quick to try to set off an EMP to kill the current attacking wave of machines, just the one that's there. She she does a sharp turn and some of the parts get smashed off the ship as she's flying it, and she comments simply, "Hey, your ship's got a fat ass!" Like, your ship sucks. Who designed this bucket? While its captain, like, she's piloting it while its captain is like fucking puking into a barf bag because he
What
can't.
happened to Harold Perrineau anyway?
Hmm?
He was one of the Harold Perrineau. He was the guy who was the. He hasn't done much recently. He was Link in the Matrix.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen him around lately. He's good.
Yeah.
We like him.
Yeah, I saw him first in Oz, where he was really good.
Although I will say I was not surprised in Matrix 4 when they were like, "Oh, he's dead." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit. It's been 60 years." Like, "Yeah, no shit, he's fucking dead." I don't know. They tried to make it sound like it was some sort of mystical curse from Neo, and everybody who serves with him dies, and I'm like, I don't know. Fucking Niobe is 90. Like, fucking, you're gonna tell me that a curse killed Link? No, dude. Like, people just die sometimes.
When they're like 90.
Right. Especially when they're 90. You get above that
I'm gonna.
you get above that 60 mark and you're like, "Oh boy, I'm rolling them bones."
I'm gonna go see if my tea is here yet.
Oh lord. Dear lord, that beautiful moxie liquor. What's the main ingredient in Jägermeister anyway?
It's juniper, isn't it?
Dear God, is it? Have I been drinking pine cones?
Yeah, juniper berries.
Oh Lord, I've been drinking pine cones! No!
56 herbs, fruits, roots, and spices, including citrus peel, licorice, anise, poppy seeds, saffron, ginger, juniper berries, and ginseng.
Oh, no,
These ingredients are ground, then steeped in water and alcohol for 2 to 3 days.
Oh,
Basically,
no,
alcoholic potpourri.
it's the licorice that generates the power in the flavor. At least in my opinion.
It still sounds like potpourri to me.
Oh, it is. Yes, we put potpourri in booze and told you to drink it. What are you
I have
gonna
never
do?
had
Leave that liquor lying around? I don't think so.
I have never had Jägermeister.
It's pretty good. Oh, Dave, how much do you like Moxie, like the main soda?
Well, I've never had that either.
I would suggest you try to drink Moxie before you try to drink Jägermeister. They taste the goddamn same.
Yeah, it's like non-alcoholic Jaeger.
Yep.
That's carbonated.
That's the
Maybe
only difference.
Yeah,
Honest to
if you
goodness.
diluted a little, if you took a shot of Jägermeister and filled the rest of the glass with club soda, it would taste like Moxie.
Yep.
Thank you,
That's
Pitch.
carbon.
They're the same goddamn thing, and it drives me crazy.
Okay, so here's a question from the court proceedings that Meredith has witnessed. When people come up to make claims, do they introduce themselves?
It's not necessary, but it can lend an air of credence to your supplication.
Okay.
Cass is wondering if there's an outstanding warrant for her, or if she is there a statute of limitations and or like any exemption for age
Ooh,
for
give
for
me a
crimes?
delicious knowledge, nobility, and royalty roll.
And if I don't have that,
You can roll straight intelligence to see if you remember anything about chosen law.
oh boy.
You open up your mind's memory of Bob Loblaw's slaw blog and maybe question mark.
And I'm rolling well tonight. That's a 20.
Damn, nice.
It's a matter of whether the victim wants to press charges. That's what it's really going to boil down to. If no one complains, a crime has not been committed.
Just for the sake of it, Meredith is not immune to fear. What kind of rolls should I make for my nerves?
That's a will save.
Okay. She is not an orator. That's still a 21. Okay.
About to say, sometimes a little fear can help you.
It makes her choose her words carefully.
Right.
I think that I have devised a way to say all of our points in a way that's not pointing fingers and will open the door for Mary.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Show me that
So Meredith,
beautiful fucking speech footage.
Meredith is going to step forward straightly and incline her head towards Vendrisse. And Lady Vendrisse, representatives of the Parliament of Sanctuary and beyond, I, Meredith Fairfluet, eldest daughter of Gareth and Ellen Fairfluet, stand before you. I believe most here are experiencing a strong doubt that Martine Evernever is a poor contender for the empty throne. His claim is based on unproven information from an unknown organization crawled from the woodwork of the World Bazaar to prop up a citizen who claims to live in their backyard. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Reynolds.
No. I was just going to say, like, there are rumbles of agreement, and there are rumbles of the Fairfurlet family, just like, oh, the Fairfurlets are involved. Oh boy, oh geez, we better keep our ears peeled. And you're like, hey, this is bullshit. And they're like, oh, this is probably bullshit. I mean, we didn't know that, so they know that, so that makes us feel better about them, because if they're as smart as we are, then that makes us feel good. Yeah.
She continues, the seat of a god cannot be determined by lineage, but by deed and belief of the people. The people are desperate for something to believe in, desperate enough to believe the first claim in a news report spread across Septemport. and the artifacts held in Iron Fist for that exorbitant sum could legitimize a claim, maximize that belief that's held in thrall. But it's a sum that could be managed by some of the most powerful moguls in the city with only moderate time and effort. We, as a band of adventurers, don't have the authority alone to challenge these statements, but this claim isn't something that should be left to sit idly. A statement has to be made, and who better to question the legitimacy of the organization, putting Ever Never forward, than those who know the history and mythos of Marduk best? Leads us to a pertinent question. Should the mantle of a god really be left up to the highest bidder?
Yeah!
Holy
Oh!
shit!
Do I need to roll, Mr.
Whoa!
DM?
I would love a delicious diplomacy roll. There will be invisible bonuses. I'm not even gonna talk shit about there could be penalties. When you say something like the manner of the god should not be left up to the highest bidder, fucking bullet through the heart, like
I rolled a 16, so that is a total of 23.
dear lord.
I think there should also be at least one additional bonus point for me disrupting my laptop by half jumping out of my seat with excitement. It was definitely not my dick going rock fucking hard and knocking my laptop out of my lap.
Thankfully not.
I greatly appreciate you giving me time to formulate a response. Thank you for the pause button.
Absolutely.
Well done. It was worth it.
That being said,
Mhm.
dear lord, have you ever, oh Jesus Christ, where'd you get these heart-seeking fucking arrows?
How long have we been playing games together, Reynolds?
You make a fair point.
I know you,
And
and I know my character.
and there are like a whole bunch of rumbles of approval, and there's like, you make a very good point. We can't leave this. It's not a matter of gold; it's a matter of faith. And Vindre speaks, and she's like, "You've made your points fantastically, Meredith Ferlet, but there may be a matter of committee before we can determine exactly what to do about it." And Mary raises her hand and says, "I demand a trial by combat."
What?
And everyone's like, "Excuse me?" And she's like, "It's on the books, Rule 48, subparagraph B. Anybody who makes a good claim can declare a trial by combat. Name your champion. I will defeat them."
Or Tyrion Lannistering this to Hilo.
I'm about to say, let's skip to the end. Let's cut through the bureaucracy. And they're like, the crowd erupts in rumbling, just like, oh god, who do we choose? Who do we choose? Who do we choose? And oh hey,
No! Fuck
Yeah.
you, no!
Yes!
No!
your mom volunteers.
No!
Saw that coming.
I didn't! I thought Patrice was going to!
Nope.
And she's just like, "I'll champion the chosen." And Mary just says, "That's fantastic." And Vindre's like, I'm sorry, not Vindre's. Your mother. What's her name?
Ellen.
Ellen. Ellen walks forward with her armor and her sword, and Mary says, "What are you doing? Do you think
Oh, shit.
that Connor will come for you in the day when you're ready? Do you think that the Gilded Cloak will come for you when you expect it? No. You'll have to remove all that." And Connor's representative is like, "Well, excuse me, ma'am," and Vindres is like, "Shut your mouth. I'm sorry, sir. You don't get to talk right now." And your mother is so shamed, like she takes her arms and armor off. And she says, well, if that's going to be the case, then you too have to release yourself of excess weapons and weaponry, arms and armor. And she's like, what would you want me to get rid of? Your tail. And like, she takes off her clothes and reveals that she has no tail. There's a stub where a tail used to be. And they're
Wow.
like, what about your claws? And she's like, dulled to nails. What about your horns? Saw them off. And there is some time for which surgeons are called, and they saw off Mary's horns. And then Mary says, grind them down. And they cut off her hair and they grind down her horns to stubs.
Seems a bit extreme.
And then the two of them duke it out. There is like the two of them are on the center of the floor at the lowest level, right next to like Vindriza's perch, and they're just duking it out. And your mother gets the upper hand through some through power. Like I'm a more venerable soldier, and I've
Seen it all before.
Right, I've seen it all before. And she takes Mary down and just pummels the shit out of her. And Mary surrenders. And she's like, well, trial by combat's a loss. And Mary pipes up and just says, 2 out of 3. And Vindries looks at all of you and everything that's going on and says, 2 out of 3. And Mary says, the Battle of the Seven Winds wasn't fought in one day. It was fought over 100. If you think that Marduk's victory over Gemma was the result of one day's combat, you're blind. Or are you just stupid? And Vindri says, very well then, best 2 out of 3. And your mother tries the same trick she did in the first fight. And have you guys ever seen Muhammad Ali fight?
Mm-hmm.
It's fancy, but it's not spectacular. You hold someone at arm's reach and you lay in some strikes when you need to throw in some strikes. You rope-a-dope if you use every rule to your advantage, you get some mad advantages. And like your mother tries overpowering Mary, and it's just like, oh no, I'm just gonna dodge out of the way and take a little damage and throw in some strikes, and I'm just gonna do that over and over and over again. And Meredith, you recognize it before Cass does.
Mm-hmm.
Mary's working the body.
That's going to catch up to her.
Exactly. And your mother is old, not like ancient, but like your mother's on the older side. And there comes a point where somebody make a heal check.
It's not gonna be me.
I don't know if I have that skill either.
It's a +0.
Hold on, I got this. I got this.
I don't have it trained. No.
Let's see.
That
is a 23.
Ooh! Harlan, you've seen this before.
I'm not gonna beat that.
You remember when you were a sweet summer child and you used to see ivory foot bouts. Like, a lot of young fighters did not understand what it meant to work the body. They were like, I'm going to go for the head and I'm going to do a bunch of damage and I'm going to knock this motherfucker out. But like, if you play the game, if you fight smart, you work the body. And you can see the Verferlet sisters, you can see her mother getting more and more tuckered out and struggle harder and harder to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And you see one body blow and like it hurts you when you see it. Like your hand like grips the butt of your gun because you're like, oh, that couldn't have been good. on the receiving end or the delivering end. Harlan, you successfully deduce that Mary has cracked a rib with her fist, which is not so good for the fist, but much worse for the crack.
Much worse for the rib.
Mm-hmm. And as you can see, the Fairferlet matriarch can't keep her hands up. The Fairferlet matriarch is left hand dominant, and she keeps using her left hand to cradle the busted rib. And Mary delivers a knockout punch. It's fucking devastating. But it's just like Mary is undertaken like severe wounds, but like she's not. There's nothing slowing her down. She's just hurt. And when your opponent can't keep their hands up and your opponent can't breathe, you can just lay in the haymakers. What the fuck you gonna do about it?
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Stop you?
They can't. And your fucking mom goes down. And some clerics come in to heal the wounded. And they're like, okay, alright, hold on. We need some heals. We need some heals real quick. And everyone's like, well, it's best 2 out of 3. It's best 2 out of 3. You know, this could be this could be good luck. You know, it could be good skill, but she'll carry through. She killed a Bandersnatch. We'll all be able to handle this.
Just out of curiosity,
shoot.
What is the attitude in the room? Is it like spectacle? Are people like being entertained, or is it something else?
It's a cross between spectacle and like a church proceeding. Like,
There's no applause.
there's no applause. Whoever wins this fight has the will of the gods. And
Cass is kind of gnawing on her knuckles.
And it's time for round 3, and you all see a side of Mary you've never seen before. You see a grappler.
Oh, fuck.
And it's,
Get up the flowchart.
It's disgusting. Like, every time Mary changes tact, it seems like your mother is trying to match, and she's just a step ahead. How do you beat strikes? Well, how do you beat power attacks? You go to strikes. You work the body, and you play defense, and you let your opponent wear themselves out. It's the Mike Tyson versus Ali fight writ large. Tyson himself admitted, I don't remember who, but someone in an impromptu interview was like, hey, Tyson, do you think Ali would have defeated you? Do you think you could have beat Ali? And Tyson straight up said, Ali would have destroyed me. Like, no ego, no honor, just like, nah, man, I'd have gotten fucked. I'm so glad that my opponents were too stupid to try those tricks, because they would have worked. And when your mother goes for the strikes, Mary's like, no, you can't strike if I get in close. Well, you can, but they suck. And Mary plays the grapple game, and it's bonkers. It's devastating. It's embarrassing. Like, no matter what she tries to do, Mary is one step ahead. It's like, I've got you in a waist hold. I'm gonna do you a suplex. Okay, fine. Well, I'm gonna make sure that you can't do me a suplex. Oh, cool. That means your balance is real low, so that I can't pick you up. I'm gonna sweep the leg and get you in an ankle lock. Okay, cool. I've hurt your ankle real bad, but you're kind of getting a hold of that. I'm gonna work the arm. And like, you can tell that like one of your mother's wrists gets broken, which just makes everything more difficult. And then Mary puts her in the all dreaded rear naked choke.
Yep.
That's how this ends. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been in a rear naked choke. But it's the worst. It's
How you gonna
worst.
get out of that one?
How you get out of a rear naked choke? Many men have tried, all have failed. And like Mary takes her to the ground so that she's behind your mother while they're lying on the ground, and just like there's not enough room to move. There's no space to get leverage, and she's just sputtering for breath. But she's not surrendering. And
Let's whisper to Meredith. It's say what you will, but Dad wouldn't have fallen for this.
He also would have gone down in one punch.
you're not wrong. And she's lying on the ground still, and another bailiff is like, "Hey, this fight's over," and Mary's like, "No, it's not." And like you guys can see that like she's still breathing just fine. She's just trying to conserve her energy. She's playing dead. You succeeded on your sense motive. She's playing dead, and then she goes unconscious. And Mary's like, "It's over," and just tosses her off, and is like, "If anyone doubts that I could take Marduk's place, speak now. Speak up. Say your piece. Say whatever you wish." Nothing. Chosen. You, bound to Marduk's will, I ask for your aid. Deny Connor his desires. With others in this realm, we can starve him. But I need your help. And you'll need others' help too. If we stand united, we can get what's rightfully ours. And there is a mighty rattle of approval.
Is that something that I hear on the wind? Is this a little lifting together? All of us together?
One might go so far to say that we are all, in fact, lifting together. One voice has elected to lift. All you need find are a few more helping hands. And, the Connor ambassador is like, my master will be very furious. And, Vindries just holds up another hand and is like, "Speak not of his fury. We have heard the justice of these words. Go back to your boss. Tell him what's happened. We have no reason to lie to him." Grub, all of you, step into my office.
I'm looking over at my mom.
She
What's going on with her?
very unconscious.
Is anyone helping her?
A cleric.
A man comes into the room.
Oh, fuck.
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to.
He's not more machine than man at this point, but he's about 25% machine.
Is this face?
It is Gareth.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go into the office.
It's what?
Cass is like,
Time to hurry into the office.
"Go into the office quick." It was like Cass was like thinking, "I should help Mom." Oh fuck! Go to the office.
I'll catch up with you.
Gareth's stride is slow and cane driven. Apparently, you would suspect that his leg is mechanical as well as his eye. Harlan, give me a delicious heal check.
You got it. Heal, or can I also do a knowledge engineering?
You may! You can roll them both and take the greater.
Cool. 19 heal. Let's see. 16 engineering. So 19 heal.
You succeed on the heal check. Beware the man who fakes a limp.
Oh.
And he hurries down there to check on his ailing wife. But Meredith, I think you wanted to stay behind and do something?
If he was going to make a beeline towards Cass at all, I was going to step in myself and hold his attention.
No. But when he is attending to Aelin, he looks at the two of you. You have been
Not
spotted.
there. In the office. I like push past Pendries.
I meet his eyes for a moment, but go into the office. I want him to know it was me. Sort of a feel.
Ugh.
Hey, bitch. It was me.
The
just sort
upwards
of-
nod of "Hey, I see you too."
when Meredith comes in, it's, what the fuck? How come they didn't nail him?
Hmm.
Why didn't they fix him?
Oh, right. I didn't mention that, I guess. Too much going on with our reuniting. How long did it take for all of those surgeries, Reynolds?
It took a long time. They may have been executed after you left.
He wasn't nearly that finished when I took my leave.
You do remember the eye. The eye was definitely a part of it. You do remember his menacing glower. Have you considered that mortal flesh is weak?
You embraced the rise of the machine.
Have you heard the whisper of the Metal Mother lately?
Let's just say there were some people from Ankara in the household for a while.
Oh, fuck.
That is indeed true. They advised Grub on how to make the eye. The leg? Well, who knows?
It's probably the
Mango.
most complicated part.
What happened to the leg?
Like
That's a good
the
question.
flesh and blood leg.
Yeah. I don't remember. Fuck.
There was a
Har-
lot of blood.
Harlan, that would be your cue.
I think he may be exaggerating whatever's going on with his leg. It's a certain way he stepped down the stairs. The weight didn't fall right.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Like, yeah, Harlan, you're able to figure out, like, you've seen people walk with, like, a peg leg or, like, a prosthetic leg. He's faking that. Usually when you have a peg leg or a prosthetic leg, it doesn't move right. That's where the problem comes in. It don't move good because it's not attached to your actual brain. That leg's moving just fine. He's just pretending it doesn't work.
If it's a prosthetic, it's a real fine one.
I wouldn't have thought he'd try to play the sympathy vote. So I wonder what his real game is.
Some sort of broken winged gambit, or trying to hide just how good that metal is on him.
Both?
It might
Two
not be
things can be
sympathy
true.
at all. It might just be he's just pretending to be weaker, hiding his power level, so to speak.
Could be.
Fucking.
Or if
hide
someone
his power level.
if someone gave him that leg, he could be heading that alliance.
All right, so we're in the room with Vendries, and we're having
Yeah.
this little
This
convocation.
little
So
aside as people
it's getting a little long. So
Right.
right.
who else is in the room? Grub, us,
Yeah.
Vendries.
Grub comes in, you guys come in, Vendries comes in, and a few journalists come in.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I say an infernal.
Everyone knows that one.
You've earned our loyalty, if not our attention. You
Trying to parse
want,
that statement.
And we thank you for the audience.
you want us to cut Connor off? I like the idea. Teach him a lesson. You put your life on the line, and she looks at Mary and is like, you could sit on the empty throne. That's a distinct possibility. You're a little bit more belligerent than Marduk was, but maybe we need a little belligerence. Who am I to say? But, no, I don't like the sound of this Martine ever and ever. He smells like a fraud. A bum hug.
Sounds like puppets, what it smells like.
Got someone's hand so far up his ass, they're using their little fingers to move his mouth.
Absolutely. Desperate man will do anything to feel important. I know.
Oh, I do too.
You get some big Doskius energy real quick.
Mm-hmm.
My father fought men like that. Every step of his life. I'll do it too.
This is just the first step.
Of course. I think that you may be able to draw strength from any district. Take your pick. But if you can get 3 other districts on board, we can choke the life out of this fucking machine.
You keep that train from moving?
Taking the train.
That's what we're thinking.
Taking the train would be a little bit much. That would mean taking his property, but we can withhold sales from him. We depend.
Send that train back empty.
Exactly. Oh, terribly sorry. We couldn't find any product for the next 3 months. Terribly sorry. You'll have to do without. Good luck. I can make that happen. Grub, can you make that happen? He's like, if you think you can make that happen, I can make that happen. Good. I want you to help these people. Pro bono. They deserve something nice. I can see it written all over your faces. You've all tasted a little too much misfortune. Into each life some rain must fall, but too much has fallen in yours. Yes, I'm willing to help. But like you said, if others don't join in on this, it's doomed to fail.
I don't think it's going to take much persuasion to reach the ears of Ankara and Janam.
That's a fair bet. They'll probably kick his ass for free.
Historically, they've done well when they have a common foe.
You are not wrong. You learned your history. I like that. That's good.
From the
That's
best.
You'll need that before you'll need that before this war is won.
From my understanding, District 3 is in a bit of a difficult position.
You're not wrong.
Armstrong relies on the train for materials and trade. It's cut off from all other sources that don't take a arduous route through the graveyard or the mountains.
I'm concerned more with Faholiran's conscience. If she cuts off grain shipments, she could never do that.
Well, a proposal. If the goods from your city aren't going on the train to Connor, they could go elsewhere.
Even so, what I'm saying is that
You can't eat lead.
exactly, his people need grain. If you can provide an alternative source of currency, she can give them the grain for free. That denies Connor commerce, but you'd have to talk to her about that. It's just an idea.
Not
And it's
bad.
just a matter of getting the grain to that district without it going through Connor.
Exactly.
You know he'd leverage that against his own people
You are
quicker than
not-
anything.
You are not wrong.
I wouldn't ask Fawaliran to starve her people.
It's not her people, it's Connor's people. She wouldn't starve him either way.
I'm looking over at the reporters, and I just say, any news of there being any sort of resistance to Connor at his own district?
Some, yes.
Hmm.
It died with an old elf, though.
An old elf named Vitalis, most likely.
Ooh,
Pour one out.
when you write, you write.
Uncle.
Have you considered what it means to stand against injustice? But, yeah, I'll back your play. I don't like this ever. Neither do any of my people. It's written clean on their faces. Marduk and Kira never sired a child. I don't know who this man is, and I don't know if he's lying, but he's built on a lie. I've seen what happens to civilization that are built on lies. Nothing good comes of them. So, yeah, I'll stop sending food to Connor's table. Nice work.
Meredith just smiles.
Hey, you made it easy for me. You convinced all of them out there. It'll make my work a whole lot easier. Everyone forgets that I'm a tyrant right up until I start signing writs. Anyway. Grub, handle these guests. We thank you very much for your what's the word I'm looking for? Not gratitude, gratuity. We thank you
Service?
we thank you very much for your service. And maybe we can get you some tickets on the Moloch Express, but I wouldn't trust that too much. I'd suggest you find your own way out of the district. That's what I would do if I was you.
We could use travel papers. We have temporary ones, but could
I can give you papers, but if you think you're going to make your way anywhere on that train, I would be cautious.
I mean to get over the walls without a whole production.
Unfortunately, in accordance with Septemportian law, it is still illegal for a member of District 2 to emigrate to another district without their explicit consent. So, I regret to inform you, you may be forced to smuggle yourself out.
Damn walls.
Again,
If you do have to go down below, be careful. There are more dangerous things than thugs in those tunnels. And Grub looks at all of you and smiles and just says, "Yeah, I'm feeling it."
hey, the Moloch Express stops by the wilds. We saw some very highfalutin looking elves get on. What's the deal there?
It has to go through there in order to reach Ankara. Maybe that's
Is he
leverage.
getting anything from them?
That's a distinct possibility. Unfortunately, my diplomatic reach is somewhat limited when it comes to the elves of the wilds.
I was under the impression that Connor was probably bribing them for the privilege of traveling through their lands unopposed.
That's a distinct possibility.
The wilds aren't theirs.
You're
that.
all
Connor
right.
doesn't know that.
But I would go
Connor-
so far to say that the elves think that the wilds belong to them. Maybe you could teach them otherwise.
I don't have a horse in that race.
We do.
Hmm.
And Meredith just looks at Cass.
I wonder.
I'm just saying it would be a permanent way to disrupt the train line.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you can convince the elves to give Connor the middle finger, that could be devastating. You can't get through the wilds without the elves' approval. I mean, you could, but I can't imagine what it would take to map that passage.
Decades and magically adept people that can map something non-Euclidean.
You're not wrong. When you write, you right. And hey, man, time is money.
It would be the equivalent of the Evergreen ship being stuck for like 30 years. And the alternative is trekking your way on foot through a desert.
Dear God. What if you trap the Moloch Express in the wilds? Dear
Mm-hmm.
God.
I know someone that would want to help you with that.
Have you
The
considered
elves
instead
are-
the street? Have you considered instead the sweet embrace of death?
I mean, I'm just saying, Baloth biting a hole through the train tracks.
Oh, the wild strike back.
Is Cass aware of Clementine?
Almost certainly.
Okay.
The legends stretch far and wide, especially with Solandra's history about a halfling who... I can't remember, did Clementine elect to become big or small?
She elected to become small. She had she basically spends her time, she'll basically pick a creature and guide it through its life.
Right.
And
Went back and forth between big and small. No?
over
She
the
used
course
to,
of the
but-
game, yeah, she did over the course of the game, and then she had to choose at the end.
Yep. At the end, Elijah's Whisper declared an ultimatum. She had to choose either big or small for the rest of her life. And considering her drow ancestry, she lives long. Not to mention Dogo's influence. I'm just saying, this 68-year-old halfling is gonna look like a fucking child. It's gonna. Be
Well, I mean,
I thought druids
timeless body.
stopped aging too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
like,
geez. So she's just trapped at 28. She's just 28 until she dies at the age of 220.
I mean, if you gotta pick an age, picking an age where your back doesn't hurt is probably a good one.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Honestly, 10,000 IQ move.
I wonder if you're
Genius.
like you still like feel like you've aged that long.
No.
Like, no.
No.
Rules as
I mean,
written.
like, existentially, yes, but physically, no.
Right.
Right.
old eyes, young body.
Yep. And rules as written, like, your mental age continues, so you still get the mental stat increases, but you don't get the physical attribute debuffs.
Gotcha.
So when you reach Venerable with the Ageless Body ability, you get a +3 to all your mental attributes, and you get no penalties to your physical attributes. Like, have you considered getting fucked?
Meanwhile, Salandra struggles to get out of her teen years.
Yes. Meanwhile, Salandra
One of
has
these-
barely
You're gonna
reached
hit
adulthood.
puberty one of these days. It's coming.
She's hit puberty.
Eventually.
She's almost hit adulthood. Not quite. What's she, like 120? Like that's
No,
barely an
she's
adult.
not. She's like 95.
Okay, no, then she is
Yeah, she was a
barely
baby
considered-
elf.
She's
Yep.
barely considered an adult.
You told me when we started you wanted her to be like really young.
Young.
Uh-huh. So,
So
yeah, people consider
I love
her...
the idea, though, of Salandra being the elvish equivalent of a fucking 13-year-old.
and a
And
noob.
all of the big elves just like 13-year-olds.
That is
Look
absolutely
at this
correct.
edgelord.
Like, they consider her an adult just because she is a 23rd level magus. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you
Not fucking much.
Are you gonna treat the 23rd level magi like a child? I don't think so. If only because brother would disapprove.
But yeah, with Vindrice's blessing, where does Grub take us out of the room?
He is going to take you back to his workshop, and he just says, "All right, y'all earned a freebie. You can ask me for anything, and I'll do my best to make it." I'm feeling, after that display, I'm feeling a little inspired. And Mary just, like, Mary, hornless, hairless, just pipes up and says, "I want Fist of Thunder and Lightning." And he's like, "Okay, I can make that happen." So you can ask for a description of a magical item, and Grub will create it for you. He will use some of the vanishingly low levels of experience he has left in his imagination pool in order to create something for you. Like, you can't ask...
I forgot his imagination pool.
Oh, yeah. So, like, you can't ask for, like, a +4 greatsword, but you could ask for, like, I want a greatsword that's strong and lights people on fire. And he'd be like, done! I can make that shit in a day. So you guys brainstorm that, and I am going to use the bathroom real quick before my bladder explodes.
Don't explode.
Messy.
Oh shit, I don't know what I want.
Shit, same.
I do.
I'm
I
just
kind of
not
want to
sure.
take a week to think on it, honestly. I don't know.
Is Harlan going to get a pistol upgrade?
Long gun.
Oh.
Oh, that's an excellent, because those are super fucking expensive.
Yep.
Oh, Meredith, yours is
Yeah,
a no-brainer. Yeah.
It's the armor, which unfortunately, like, in a perfect world, I would have liked it to have been made by a smith that follows Holt. But I mean, this is a smith that knew Holt.
True.
Right,
So-
like,
literally
this
near
is
him.
Holt's
so-
roommate, like...
Mm-hmm.
So he was one of the few people who Holt did not fuck.
True, he wasn't. Yeah, Grubbs wasn't ever interested in our. He didn't participate in our District 5 orgy.
I don't think he was there. I think he was back in Aziz's
D3.
temple.
Oh, he's-
and-
I forget if we left him in Alexander's library or Aziz's temple.
yeah, one of those two. I think while we were in District 5.
Yeah, because he needed to rest his special eyes.
What did he see with his special eyes?
All.
To the
Oh.
infinite, and it almost broke his brain.
Grub's ability is that he can look at anything and see how it works.
Think
But
of
that's
like in the Lego movie where like they could see the deconstruction of all the pieces. He could just do that with his eyes. But he had trouble turning it off.
I have no freaking clue with
I
the
know.
cast. I mean, Cass would be inclined to get something offensive, but she should really get something defensive.
You don't have to.
Or something to heal. Healing would be good.
Gotta choose my words carefully as ever. Hmm.
Yep.
What?
I'm still fucking reeling from that speech.
Yeah.
That was really
Yeah.
good. That was a really good speech.
That was-
Holy fuck.
That was so
Thank you.
fucking good.
Way to blow everyone's fucking socks off.
That was awesome.
Thank you. It happens. Cap the player sometimes has a a charisma score that he forgets about.
It was.
Hi, I got muted. Fun fact: John Wayne was a colossal piece of shit.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
I was just thinking that the better one is James Arness, who is equally
A book
tall and
that
impressive.
you might enjoy, Reynold. It's called Jesus and John Wayne.
The podcast I'm listening to is based off of that book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I recommend the book as a study of the rise of evangelicism in the United States.
Yep.
It seemed when I was getting into it, I thought there would have a lot more on pop culture and that influence, but it was more based on like the politics with some pop culture thrown in.
Right.
But yeah, definitely recommend the book.
Muscular Christianity, they call it, right?
Yep.
But yeah, John Wayne loved to beat his wives. Hated going to war. Did you know that Jimmy Stewart was the pilot of a bomber?
Jimmy Stewart is a war hero.
Like, holy fucking shit. Like, say what you will about the man, but he fought the Nazis, so, hats off. He earns that much. And who was it? Bob Hope, who was, like, the gunner of a bomber? Which is like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, we're going to put you in this... We're going to put you in this little glass ball, and if the glass ball gets punctured, you die. I'm on it. Okay.
Nobody beats Christopher Lee though for sheer
for sheer Nazi killing, for sheer Nazi body count.
Yep.
We got to give him points for the personal body count. Yeah, you can drop a bomb. Yeah, you can fire a gun, but how many Nazis have you killed, like, up close and personal? Because, like, right? Christopher Lee's got at least 2 under his belt that he's spoken about.
One of my favorite tweets is saying, "It is so wild to me that Elvis was drafted, like, at the height of his popularity. Because, like, imagine you're at war and someone yells, 'Cover me!' and it's Beyonce."
Anything for you, Beyonce.
Last I heard, Elvis got like a sort of like a cushy role from the draft, but even so, like, you can be on the back lines doing paperwork, and dude, if a stray shell hits your office, you die. So even if the king wasn't on the front lines, oh, he was still in danger. But if you would like a delicious repeater, a repeater can be provided for you.
Yes, please.
Oh boy. I guess in the end it doesn't. What level are you guys all? Oh, you're all level 7 now, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been level 7 for a while.
We've been level 7 for a while, yeah.
Oh, well, you're level 8 now.
Are we level 8?
Oh, yes! I have earned the right to wear Hell Knight plate.
No.
I'm just saying.
By the rules.
If you ask Grub to make Hell Knight plate, I'm not saying there will be consequences. There will be consequences, but there will be. Excuse me?
Huh?
You want me to make what for you?
Well, you knew Nikolai Holt. Just channel him.
Do we have to make a choice like right now?
Yep.
About this shit? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And like you can only ask for like a basic like attribution of what you're supposed to have.
So like I can't specifically like. So, for example, this is not necessarily what I would say, but like for example, if I wanted something that would give me access to another like class's spell list, I couldn't like ask for that. I would have to say like I want to like unlock the knowledge of magic that I can't have right now or some shit like that.
I mean, you could ask for like a staff of fire magic, for instance, and you'd be like, I can make that happen.
Okay, but he couldn't, like... Okay, I get
Yeah.
it.
Like, I want a ring of protection. I can make you a fucking kick-ass ring of protection. I want some hellplate armor. Excuse me? You heard what I said. Alright, I can make that happen.
Yeah, Jimmy Stewart's usually the biggest example of an actor who was a
Jesus, sorry.
um so just out of curiosity, I haven't heard anything about something that does this, but my blood is kind of odd. I mean, at least it feels odd inside of me, kind of fizzy. And I was kind of wondering if you knew any way to sort of work with that.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, I mean, you know Vendrese. I think she's like me.
Oh.
I haven't heard anything that's like enhances that or puts it more under control. But if there is something, I'd be kind of curious about it.
I can do either, but not both. If you want more power, I can get you more power, but that means less control. If you want more control, I can give you more control, but that means you'll have less power. Not like less than you have, but like not as much as you could have. You know what I mean?
Mm. Need to think.
So when Pidge, when you ask for a rifle, he says, "Yeah, that makes sense. Your pistol's still looking for its twin. I can turn you into a Cerberus if that's what you're okay with."
What do you mean by Cerberus?
As in a 3-headed dog.
Ha!
I can build you a 3rd head.
I love it.
Alrighty then.
Got the jury. Now I need the judge.
And the last gun, the ancient long-lost firearm in this bizarre pistolier set, is the Executioner. You ever want to put a motherfucker in the ground forever?
The way I always viewed it is like you were the judge and the guns were jury and executioner. Like, because you were the brains behind the gun. But, yeah. If you get a 3rd gun, then I guess you get judge, jury, and executioner.
The way I viewed it, though, is Harlan is the executioner.
Ooh!
Ooh.
I am purely the executor of the weapon's will. Pepperbox? What is a pepperbox firearm?
Hmm.
I think it's like
like
a
a
weird shotgun,
revolver.
isn't it?
No, a pepperbox is a
It's like a pistol.
a 4-barreled rifle that are set into a turnable housing that can be quickly rotated by hand between shots.
Hmm.
Are
Yeah,
you
I've seen-
familiar with the Trigun character Constance Rifle?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that. Wow, I can't believe that reference landed.
Actually, I've seen Trigun.
We're folks of culture.
Even so, he's only in the program for 1 episode.
He's memorable.
He is indeed. Because Loose Ruth is his name. Loose Ruth, otherwise known as Constance Rifle. Dear God. Holy shit. Congratulations, you have figured out that you have plumbed the deepest cut. But that's not exactly what he makes you. He makes you a... Oh god, there's a jurist enchantment? What the fuck is the jurist enchantment?
I think it makes stuff lawful aligned.
No, it's an Inquisitor speciality, but it just popped out to me.
Just that name is cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It's specifically for Inquisitors.
Yeah.
Yeah. To modify their judgment class ability.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Harlan, you have earned a +2 lucky rifle.
Oh!
It does 2d8 points of damage. It has a range of 80 feet. It weighs 12 pounds. It misfires on a 1. And it has its own personal pool of grit. So your
Whoa, okay.
So your grit pool has been increased by 1.
Okay, weight 12 pounds. Misfires on a 1.
Yep.
And, crit on a 20.
Yep. And it's a +2 weapon, so it's got +2 to hit and +2 to damage. Overall, that's a +3 weapon, which comes out to a total cost of, not including its base price, 18,000 gold pieces. Including its
Ooh.
base price, it is a 23,500 gold piece weapon.
Whew. Oh, mama.
It's also outfitted with a groove in the stock, not in the stock, in the handle, so you can hold a knife while you're firing it.
Oh, badass. I love it. Thank you, Grub. This is incredible.
I haven't played too much with firearms. Sometimes they feel unsporting, but sometimes unsporting is another way of leveling the playing field.
Couldn't agree more.
Have you considered shooting a motherfucker in the dick?
Been more inconsiderate.
Alright, that's one. What does everybody else want?
Grub.
I can go next if you just have one more time to think.
No, it's okay. I think that's a good idea. Grub, would you be able to fashion me something to help me be less noticeable, or to keep out of sight?
He turns down his glasses and looks at you with eyes fucking littered with cataracts. Like, at that point, he's more cataract than eyeball, and he's like, oh yeah. I understand the value in being unseen. Congratulations, Pith. I'm sorry. Som is the owner of a ring of invisibility.
Does that
Turns
have
the ring
a
invisible.
finite amount
Nope.
of charges?
It's on all
Okay.
the time. It's on unless you
Oh.
elect it to be off.
Oh shit. Okay.
Holy fuck.
I am looking at the relative wealth between what your characters own and what your characters deserve, and I am filling the gap.
Thank
Sweet.
you, Mr. DM.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can only say what a pleasure it is to watch Grub work. It's... The clay must be happy in the potter's hands.
Happy cheese comes from happy cats.
Happy comes from happy steel.
Does this so like taking actions would make me visible again, right?
Yes.
Or
Anytime
okay.
you do something, you'll briefly flicker visible. Or
Okay.
at the very least, you'll lose the plus 20 bonus to invisibility.
Okay.
Yeah, a stationary invisible creature is a plus 40 bonus on stealth. The bonus is reduced to plus 20 if the creature decides to move.
Okay.
But the spell ends if the subject attacks any creature. For purposes of this spell, an attack includes any spell targeting a foe or whose area of effect includes a foe. So if you open a door, you lose plus 20 for a total of plus 20. And if you
Okay.
attack anyone, it breaks the effect for 1 round.
Okay. If I buff allies, because that says attacking.
I'm going to say that counts as taking an action, so that means you get to keep a plus 20. But
Okay.
that means you're going down from a plus 40 to a plus 20 on stealth, but that's greater than a plus 0.
Right.
In the heat of battle, that could be, the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to say, if you send Zandru out of your body, if you're invisible, it just looks like a snake gets summoned. Hello, I am a Naga!
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
4 arms!
Well, he will now. Well, actually, no, he's gonna, fuck, I don't know what he's gonna take, because he needs 1 more level for multi-attack, and then he can take another sword.
And then, have you considered the power of too many swords?
Yeah. Cause I think I asked you this before, but if I take that evolution this like again and choose the same spirit touched ability, he can just conjure another sword of the same
Absolutely.
thing. Right. Okay. So the plan is 4 arms, 4 of these fucking keen flaming wounding fucking long swords. They don't get all that right away. It's plus 1 keen right now, but it'll, as he levels,
Right.
it'll get more powerful. So like, so 4 arms for these and fucking multi-attack, and you're fucking dead.
You will indeed turn him into a Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Naga Queen. That 40 damage, flat, no retaliation. But, no fucking retaliation! So that's 2. That's 2 magic items of desire.
Yeah, Meredith is going to ask Grub for Hell Knight Plate.
And he just looks at you and says, you understand what you're wanting me to build, right?
I am.
Okay, good. I just need you
You
to
say
understand
that you knew Holt when he was immortal. And I know you're not of the faith, but there's more facets to faithfulness than zealotry alone. His current high priestess would call it heretical, but that sense of justice is what first set me down the path that I'm on, and it's a tenet that I'll never abandon.
Fair enough. You just need to understand that once you're in, there's no coming out. Okay, that's not true. You can come out, but it'll take it out of you.
I understand.
Okay.
I point out to him that we have a wealth of mithril in our bag of holding.
And he just like holds up a hand and says, "No need. I can synthesize mithril."
Oh, well.
Well, I'd say, would you like some mithril hellplate?
Yes, please.
Why don't go adamantite while you have a chance?
Oh Lord! Oh Lord!
I mean, if that's on the table.
It's not
You take
on the
with
table.
synthesizer?
If you want that sweet adamantine hell plate to just get locked into a fucking tomb with a shit chute, that's something you can ask for.
I mean, sure. This armor's going to, like, the first Hell Knight discipline I'm going to take is bonded armor.
Okay. All right. So if you choose to get locked in the Hell Knight plate, you will be able to fight. You will gain the Deathless Initiative feat as a class feature.
Holy shit. Okay.
Your armor will keep fighting once you are unconscious. Because in the immortal words of Rocky Balboa, you didn't hear no bell. Did you know that if you're unconscious, you can't hear the bell? It's funny how that works.
What I can do now?
Dear Lord. Okay. I can't think of, like, what's the opposite of if God gets in your way, God will get cut? Like, it's if God gets in your way, like, God will fucking, his punches will slide off of you.
The scene from Preacher where the saint of murder is taking out tanks with his pistol.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I
And
love that guy.
they drop a nuke on him, and his line after the nuke clears is, "Gonna need a bigger gun," which I thought was, yeah.
Oh, Garth Ennis, never
Mhm.
change.
Oh, please
Unless
change.
you're writing women, in which case, please, God, change.
It's like Garth Ennis is occasionally brilliant and frequently toxic.
Yes.
And
Alrighty
Preacher was
And
great until it was repulsive.
yeah, I think I've read maybe the first 6 or 7 books.
And then it's really repulsive. Really.
Yeah, and then I was like,
This is making me feel dirty.
Alrighty then. Let me look at some of these enchantments.
What I do ask, if at all possible, if I could have a influence on the aesthetic?
Oh yeah, you can have it look like whatever you want it to look like.
Okay, cool, thank you. I do have a folder of references. I'm working on it. I didn't expect to be given this opportunity.
Oh yeah, no.
My adamantite Hell Knight plate is around as good as it fucking gets.
Fuck.
You weren't getting a whole lot out of the mithril because, yeah.
Other than armor check penalty, but fuck it at this point.
Oh yeah. 3 points of
The
damage
only
resistance doesn't hurt.
the only question he has for you is, do you want to be a brute or a champion?
A champion.
Alrighty then. You are the proud owner of +3 impervious adamantine hellplate. And he warns.
Reynold, I'm crying.
And he warns, when you get locked in, there's no coming back out. Someone's gonna have to break you out like a goddamn can opener.
So that bonded plate thing, Renald, means that she can summon it back and forth.
Yeah, let me link you that ability to make sure that it's not gonna
Yeah.
mess with.
As writ, you will have sensory perception through the adamantium. Like, you'll be able to feel what you're holding through the metal.
Okay. How will it interact with this?
You can make it appear as if the armor is not on.
Okay.
It's supernatural. So in any environment in which you do not want to appear as if you are wearing the armor, you can declare it as being transparent. And then you cannot take it off. But
Oh.
you will appear as a normal Meredith-shaped object.
Does that
How
smell?
do you? I would say, how do you take a bath?
You don't.
How do you go tinkle?
There is a special compartment for which urine and feces are reposed in the armor.
When this is explained to me, would making it mithril allow me to function normally?
No. This is Hellplate armor. This is what it means to be a Hell Knight.
I mean, moose ears. I'll go along with this, but I am not the most pleased. This takes my entire concept and does turn it completely on its head.
Like, the way I interpret Hell armor is the armor becomes your skin.
The Order of the Scourge is a little different.
I'm about to say, shoot me that documentation. I'll look it over real quick.
Sure.
I'm about to say, it is totally possible that I am taking this further than it is meant to be taken.
One of their tenets is in my armor or without it, I'm first and always a Hell Knight.
Ooh! Because the way I'm looking at it is, with your shield or on it, I will die.
That is not this particular Hell Knight order.
Noted!
They are, I'll link it also.
Okay.
They are specifically justiciars. They seek out corruption and people that escape from the law.
Got it. Okay,
And
so
owe allegiance to no one nation or ruler.
are you familiar with the organization Militares Sans Frontières?
I'm not, but I would love to learn.
It's Soldiers Without Borders.
Ah.
Like, are you familiar with Doctors Without Borders?
I love those guys.
Yeah, I am.
Right. What if you were a soldier without a border?
So you're American.
Right. But
It's a thing.
who do you fight? Whoever needs fighting. Why do you fight? Because someone doesn't have anyone to fight for them.
That's exactly it, baby.
Got it. Okay. Yes. You will not gain the Deathless Initiate ability, but you will be able to take your armor on and off.
A small price to pay for aesthetics and thematic coherence. You're
not wrong. But yeah, MSF is the proclaimed organization of Solid Snake. I'm sorry, not Solid Snake. Big Boss in the Metal Gear Solid series. His entire policy is, what if you had a military without a country? What do you fight for? Whatever you think is right.
It means getting bloody. It means getting my hands dirty, but someone has to.
Oh, doesn't it? Oh, man. And Metal Gear Solid 5, Okay, so in Metal Gear Solid 5, yeah, you're playing a psychologically dominated clone of Big Boss.
Fuck, that's hot.
Who is experiencing like maximum PTSD and visual hallucinations.
Mm-hmm.
Like as this psychologically dominated clone of Big Boss, you invent an entire scenario whereby the woman you could not save miraculously lives.
Huh.
And you can follow that thread until you realize that she's actually dead, or you can continue to live contently. And you have it. There's an invisible karma system in the game whereby, so your character's got a chunk of shrapnel embedded in his skull, and if you do bad stuff like killing people and like killing prisoners and stuff like that, the chunk of shrapnel gets longer until it becomes a horn. And then once the horn reaches maximum length, your character gets bloodied when they take wounds or deal damage to nearby combatants. And if the horn reaches maximum length, the blood never washes off. Ever.
Oh.
And it is expressed as a hallucination that the character is experiencing. Like he's not literally bloody, but the blood never comes off the hands, Macbeth style. And at the end of the game, even if you go down the maximum good level, if you disarm every nuclear weapon in the world and you save every human being and you never take a human life, you get a tape in the mail with your list of orders for your next operation and the tape is labeled "The Man Who Sold the World." And when you put the tape in the tape deck, you turn around, and in the mirror, you're bloody, and the horn is fully grown. No matter what you choose, you become a villain.
So hold on. Is the theme of Metal Gear Solid that unchecked militarism is a bad thing?
Ooh, gonna go with big yes on that one. Also, big anti-nuclear weapon energy. The thing that gives you the most negative points in the entire game is building a nuke.
I mean, that's fair. Like, that totally makes sense.
It just reminds me of Fallout 3, where the biggest negative karma penalty you get is burning Harold alive. Like, you can poison the entire wasteland and get like negative 500 karma, but burning Harold? The ghoul from Fallout 1 with the tree growing out of his head? You burned him alive? That's negative 1,000 karma. You can go from true neutral to maximum evil if you burn Harold alive.
It sounds kind of like killing John Wick's puppy.
It's killing John Wick's puppy, baby. Fucking Harold has been in the game since game 1. They brought the voice actor back. And he begs you with all of his will, please don't hit me with that flamethrower. I want to die, but like, don't hit me with a flamethrower. You can do whatever you want, but please just don't burn me alive. And then you hit him with that flamethrower.
And then you hit it with the flamethrower.
And then you hit him with the flamethrower. Also, I really like how cool Harold is in Fallout 1 in particular. In Fallout 2, they make him the mayor of a town, so he's like super important and stuff. But in Fallout 1, he's just like some fucked up mutant who lives in the slums of Junktown, and you're like, hey man, what's up? But there's a quest you get from the Brotherhood of Steel to find a Brotherhood operative who went missing in the city. And if you play detective, you can find him. If you talk to the Thieves Guild, you can find him. And if you give Harold $5, he'll tell you where he is. He's just like, oh, Brotherhood operative who's gone missing? Yeah, he's in the house next door. Don't tell anybody I told you that. Keep it real hush hush. And you fucking go next door, kill all the guards, and talk to the initiate, and you're like, go home. You fucked up. I played Fallout 1 for my YouTube channel, and I felt super proud about, like, how am I going to find this Brotherhood initiate? Maybe Harold would know. And I bribe Harold, and he's like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm like, fuck yeah, Harold. You give me a fucking high five, buddy. Boom, give me to it. Woo! Thanks, Harold.
I also love that you don't really bribe him with much. You're like, hey, you want this sandwich?
Uh-huh. Like, the bribe is super small. The bribe is literal pocket change. And he's like, yeah, I'll spill my guts. I don't give a shit. People around here treat me like trash. If they treat me better, I might give a fuck. And I'm like, well, I'm the only man giving you money, so, Harold, let's do the do. I also recently watched a video about Fallout's 3 most exciting DLC. And y'all played Fallout 3?
I have not, actually.
I have tried so hard, and my game is fucking broken.
You're not missing much.
It does have the memory leak, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I've played Wasteland and 4, but not 3.
I had fun playing 3. I just couldn't get through it.
So 3 has... So, like, New Vegas has a lot of fucking kick-ass DLC and a lot of kick-ass quests, but Fallout 3 has maybe only one good DLC. Because there's Far Harbor, where you kill a bunch of mutated hillbillies, which is fun, but not interesting. And then there's Mothership Zeta, where you kill a bunch of aliens, which is also fun, but not very interesting. And then
Wait, I thought Far Harbor was 4.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's Fallout 4.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Far Harbor is for Christ. Point Lookout is Fallout 3.
Point Lookout, yeah.
Yeah. But and then they have Project Anchorage, which is fun but not interesting. And then they come out with The Pit, which is undoubtedly the most interesting quest in all of Fallout 3, and it's fucking hidden behind a paywall. So in The Pit, you are hired by a dude to go destabilize Pittsburgh, who has a slaving despot as a leader. And when you go there, they take all your equipment away. So you start with nothing. You start with a fucking harness, and that's it. And they send you to go collect steel ingots to earn the opportunity to fight in the arena. And when you fight in the arena, if you complete all 3 fights, you earn an audience with Asher, the leader of the pit. And this guy tells you that Asher is holding the cure to this disease hostage over the slaves in the pit. So the people in the pit, they contract a disease that makes it so they can't breed, and they eventually like degenerate into weird centaur monsters. And the way
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but we are getting a little close to 10, and I want to make sure that Dave has enough time to get his item, because I know that Pidge is probably hanging on by a thread, and Pith also.
Absolutely.
The pit's a great DLC.
Right.
Definitely play it if you haven't.
Long story short, in order to save the day, you need to commit the same crime that Asher is committing. He's like, hey, I'm doing this bad thing to make the world right, and if you want to fix it, you need to do it too.
Oh,
Moral
Kill the baby.
ambiguity.
But, I mean, Fallout New Vegas has that, like, in buckets. Like, Fallout 3 was like, we have one good idea. Let's hide it behind a paywall. And New Vegas was like, we're just made out of fucking good ideas. Who wants a piece? DLC, not DLC? Come on. Get it. Get it. Get in the pool. The water's fine.
There were some things I liked about Fallout 4, but the storytelling in Fallout 3 was better. Storytelling in Fallout New Vegas was better.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So I liked some of the aesthetics of Fallout 4, but the storytelling was not as strong overall.
No.
Okay. As far as, now that I've seen what everyone else has, like, so what would you do? I mean, if you were doing something that would make, I mean, fuck it. Of course I'm going to go for stronger. I mean, yeah. If you were trying to make me my blood rage stronger, how would it work?
There's got to be a weapon that either lengthens your rage or removes the
Yeah, is this is
fatigue.
like Furious and Furyborn and those. I don't know. They're not exactly exciting. There's not a lot of exciting options, so I was curious if you had any homebrew stuff.
I don't.
Okay. And another thing that doesn't have any homebrew stuff is there's no rules for vampiric weapons, right? In Pathfinder?
I think there are. No, I don't want magic weapon the spell. I want magic weapons the topic. Oh, there is no vampiric effect in terms of weapons.
Didn't think so.
So if
Yeah.
you ask for a vampiric weapon, you may consume the spirit of who you are killing. I don't need to tell you why that's dangerous.
Yeah. You know what? I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about me and the things that make me great. And let's just work with that. Just something that makes me better, stronger, faster, tougher.
Ooh. That's a good question. It's going to take Grub 5 days to make one item for each of you. And that's
Oh boy.
important.
Okay, yep.
Let me look this up real quick to determine what you have earned. If you desire, you may have one belt of physical perfection, which is a +2 to all physical attributes.
Damn. Pretty good right there.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, the other thing that I was looking for, but is something I can probably buy later on, which is spell storing. I wasn't sure what else I could get for to enhance my weapon. Yeah, I think I'll go with the belt of physical perfection.
Alrighty then. That's a +2 to strength, dexterity, and constitution.
You can tuck out Pith. I'll join in a couple rounds.
Alrighty. There's nothing else, right? We're just shooting the shit and waiting for everybody to decide.
Well, at this point, I think everyone has chosen what item they desire. Yeah. You got the Ring
Yes,
of
and-
Invisibility. Meredith got the indestructible fucking adamantium hell plate. Harlan got a gun that kills God. And Cassandra got a belt that makes her better in every physical capacity.
Nice. Cool.
And we'll just have to ask for what Drizul wants in a hot minute.
Yep, I
For
tagged
sure.
Reese and I'll make sure that they think about it.
Much obliged.
Alright.
Alrighty
I'll catch
then.
everybody
And
later.
that's that. Your service in District 2 is basically over. If you can get 3 other district allies, you can choke Connor to death. You can choke him until he cries for mercy, which is all you really need.
Right, like it is difficult to kill such a creature.
Right.
Yeah.
But
The
I
trick is-
have some plans that I'm gonna let percolate over the next couple of days, and I'm definitely gonna discuss it in general.
I'm just saying, when Saturday comes around, there's a lot of people you can ask for help. Like I said, a lot of people hate him.
Oh, something just occurred to me. Meredith, your best weapon against Connor, punching.
Oh yeah, that's actually kind of true.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Let me get improved unarmed strike, and we'll be all set.
that'd be amusing.
Something funny to consider.
I think he's got like 15 DR adamantine. So
it's
It's
bonkers.
dumb.
yeah,
Not to
So, yeah.
mention like the pure indestructible trait. Like if you don't cut off his head with an adamantine weapon, he doesn't die.
Okay. Thank you very much for a excellent session and a very generous loot pile, Mr. DM.
You're welcome.
and
I guess we'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, for a revolution.
Oh yes,
Cap, thank you for for that lovely speech. That was amazing.
it was very
You
good.
Killer.
You came
are
Yeah,
very
that was
welcome.
killer.
I'm tickled pink. Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys later.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.